Good fucking morning and welcome to the classiest place on earth. Happy Saturday. That's Saturday, right? Yes. Happy Saturday. Had to think about it for a second. Good morning and I hope you're doing well. My lungs sound like crap. Don't be worried. It's just COVID. Gross. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Saturducey? Sadurs. Would it be Saturducey or Satursi? Nope. Too early for that. I'm gonna go with yours. Man, it is fucking cold outside. Satusi? Oh, Satusi maybe. Ooh, I like Satusi. I might go with Satusi. Good morning, Cocky. Happy weekend. I hope you're doing well. I still can't believe you got literally so many trick-or-treaters. I didn't get I mean, not that I would have answered the door, but I didn't even get one. Like, we just don't get trick-or-treaters, and it's a bummer, man. I remember as a kid waiting for the moment that I got to be the scary house to scare kids, and I just haven't got to do it yet. Like, I wanna be like the Dunphys in fucking Modern Family and just make a haunted house that kids question going to because it actually legitimately horrifies them. I want that in my life someday. My back is fucked, dude, because of PMS. Mine's just fucked. I think I just slept too many days. I haven't done anything to hurt myself, but my neck and shoulder, like, area that's always tight, I think from just laying prone for 7 days, I fucked it literally fucked up my shoulder from laying down, but who knows? It just doesn't make any sense why it's so tight. Most people don't trunk. Yeah, there's trunk or treat. There, I mean, Cocky and Crispy, no shit, got what was it? Over 300. I want to say it was in like the 400s of trick or treaters, if not in the 300s. Like it was like they go. I mean, it's just out of. It's so cool. I'm so jealous. I've tried decorating. The first couple years we moved here, I tried decorating. It's so fucking windy that unless you literally nail things to your house, all of your decorations end up 3 miles down the road. I put out a bunch like my spiders, wherever my spider is. I have those big like wire spiders. Those are supposed to be outside, but they just get blown off my house because the wind is so fucking strong here. And I don't have big epic decorations that are like blow up things that have motors and you nail them down. So I haven't figured out Denver decorations yet. You're right, knee. Boo. I was high giving out candy. That's the only way to do. What up, Psycho? Good morning. Didn't have enough kids this year either. We were having them in with a lightsaber to come get extra goodies. Dude, I would love. I loved trick or treating as a kid. I thought it was so cool when adults actually took it seriously and didn't just treat us like we were shit. 468. 468 trick or treaters. I'm so jealous, but also that's got to be exhausting. Dude, I'd do a clicker too. The last place I lived where I actually got trick or treaters was Baltimore. In Maryland, I got trick or treaters, and they were like the costumes were dank. I've never forgot this one family came up, and it looked like a family of like doctors carrying a gurney, but the child was like built into the gurney, so it looked like a dismembered body on the gurney, but really the kid was walking around with like a cardboard thing with sheets hanging off of it, and it looked like a gurney. It was amazing. Like people really go out all out over there. I don't know what the fuck it was. It's a fucking blast, right? Okay, cool. I mean, I forget that kids come up in clusters and shit. I was thinking like over 400 times you literally had to open your door and hear trick or treat over and over and over again. Like, I don't know what I would do. But no, that's fucking awesome. I'm very jealous. Well, you're right, Mish. Wind and spiders don't mix. I should probably get something else. This next like nice weather season is my front yard, my house probably looks like nobody lives in it. I'm pretty positive that's why we don't get trick-or-treaters. My front yard literally looks like if you've ever seen Superstar, her yard, because like I've talked about this guy a million times, but I did up until literally very very recently, like a month ago, a crazy neighbor lived across the street from me who we called Booby, and he literally like you could not be outside of my house, in the front of my house, without him accosting you in some way, shape, or form, screaming racial slurs, trying to get in your car, crawling at you. I don't know. He was just a special older man who lived with his mom, but very like just really set the tone for the neighborhood. And so I just have done fuck all with my front yard because I don't want to stand in it. I was literally like fearing standing in my yard because this guy would come and talk to me and never leave. and that is not what I wanna do when I'm doing yard work. So this next year, now that he's gone and now that I've built a fence and worked on my backyard, my front yard's my job. So maybe if my front yard doesn't look like death and dismemberment, maybe people will think people live here. Like, it's just barren. I've done quite literally fuck all with it because I just did not wanna stand out there. It's such a weird thing to say you're afraid like, I'm not afraid, I just didn't wanna deal with him. There is no way to get him to go away unless I started playing Baby Shark at top volume on my phone and ignored him or called him the wrong name over and over again, like, there's just no way to get rid of this human being. Just drove me fucking crazy. I don't even like kids much, but damn it, it's so much fun to make a shit ton of them happy on Halloween. Dude, amen. Kids are cool when they're separate from each other, it's when they're all clustered together. By the way, I had a really weird thought the other day, I don't know why, what was I watching? I was watching something, and I had this, like, realization that high school, like, your senior year of high school or whatever your last year of high school is kind of, like, theoretically the last time you're ever gonna be in a room of people all the exact same age as you. Like, at any other point in your life, if someone was like, "Yeah, every single person in this room is 35," you'd be like, "What the fuck did you do, and how did you get us all here? How are we all still alive?" It's kinda weird. Good morning, Donna. Be right back. Be right back. There's so many kids that I just post up at the end of my driveway with the bowl and let them pick what they want. Dude, that's dope! That's what you would have to do, right? You'd literally bust the hinges on your fucking door. You'd have to leave it open. The chatty neighbor, I had one of those, he was a goober, but well-intended. This guy was not well-intended. I think that's where like, if he was just a sweet, special person who was a little touched and just, like, wanted to sit in my yard like, you guys know, I used to let the neighbor kids in Baltimore come hang in my yard while I was gardening and shit. I don't mind someone just hanging, but he would, you know, start telling me about how he had to call the cops on his neighbors because they asked him to stop calling them a racial slur, and then he would start yelling at top volume of his voice and just pacing back and forth in the middle of the road. Like, that kind of behavior where you're just like, "Man, if he has a gun, I don't wanna be around it." Like, I don't think he's dangerous, but he just reaches that point, and I think, honestly, the city chased him out of my neighborhood because so many people called the cops on him so many times because he would be in the middle of the road, literally, like, 5 yards from my front door, just screaming racial slurs because my whole neighborhood's Mexican, and they hate him because he's crazy, and so they probably called the cops on him, and he decided racial slurs were the way to go. Maybe a high school reunion. I don't know anyone that goes to those anymore. My 10-year high school reunion, I did not go to, and it literally was like 8 girls from my graduating class went to a local bar and, like, sat at a table, and they took a picture and put it on Facebook, and I saw it, and I was like, "Wow, good thing I did not plan to ever go back there ever again." I don't like, what's the point if you can just I feel like most people went to reunions to check up on their friends and see how everything was going, but, like, with the internet, why? What's the point? No, who the fuck wants to go back to high school? You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to go back to high school. But it was just the worst ever. Kids suck, people suck. I'm at right now and had to move furniture. Is there any other way to do it? No, he was bad. He was I mean, I felt terrible for his mom. Like, when the movers were in their yard, I mean, I don't know, like, I didn't stand by my door and, like, listen. He just screamed so loud that you can't help but hear some of the conversation happening out there, and when they were moving, the movers were bringing things out of their house, and I just hear him screaming, and he's a grown-ass man. He looks like he's in his 50s or early 60s. Grown-ass man screaming at the top of his lungs, "Don't fucking touch my dog. We talked about the file cabinet." But imagine that being screeched out of a grown man at top volume, and I look out my window, and his mom is just doing this in the driveway, and the movers are completely ignoring him. Like, I cannot fucking fathom what it's like to exist with this human being. My wife spent 350 on candy this year, and it was gone by 7:30. Holy shit. I'm so jealous. That's awesome. What kind of candy do you guys buy? I haven't looked at Halloween candy in years. I really don't even know. Like, if I have trick-or-treaters, if I live in an area with trick-or-treaters, I am 1000% the king size candy bar house. Um, but I don't get 350 exponentiated trick-or-treaters. Like, I cannot fathom what that would cost with king size candy bars. Like, I get 10 trick-or-treaters, you know? I was 21 at graduation. Giggity, giggity. Lucky you. Every level of school sucked until college. Misery of the public education system and bullies, including teaching staff. Gotta wonder how fucked it is now. Probably very. 100%. I mean, even as a kid, I remember God, that sun just came out. Even as a kid, I remember going to school and thinking to myself, like, how is any of this assisting me in my adult life? You know? I just like if your parents who are functioning adults paying their bills and managing to get through life can't help you with your homework, what the fuck is the point of homework? Because obviously it's not needed to be an adult. Do I need to memorize specific history dates and shit? No. Is history very interesting? Yes. But maybe find a better way to get me interested in it than like, what's George Washington's birthday? I don't see how that's fucking pertinent to anything in life. Sarah, my love, thank you so much for coming to the class, keeping the class alive and giving A swing so fucking long. I'm very happy I'm not dead as well. Feel like my body's still trying, but I'm not gonna let it. Oh, I mean, psycho, annoying. It's like, have you ever been around someone where you just start to get very nervous that you think they're gonna get physical at one point? Like, you can feel like the tension and energy in that human being just escalating all on its own. And it's like something in your core just says, get away from that person. That was him. To a T. And I mean, Scott even warned us of him when we moved here. Like, he's always been this way. And it's just, it sucks when you kind of feel trapped in your house. Like, I would literally get nervous walking to my car out front of my house because if he saw you walk to your car, he would come out of his house and stand in the door of your car and just start talking. So you couldn't close your door without literally shutting him in it. And there's no social cues there. It's really hard. But we're 100%. I think I'm finishing Bioshock today. I thought we were gonna finish it last night. We went like super late, but because I take forever and I look in every fucking corner and I'm just like walking in circles at the time, did not finish it. But we should be able to beat it today, Tank. I'm excited. The Baby Ruth Butterfinger Kit Kat Mix, that is honestly the little mini chocolate bars. Like even the bag that has like it's like the little square chocolate bar. It's like a bite, but it's like a Milky Way or a Musketeer or a Snickers or something. Those are the best. It's one bite snacks. They're perfect. I always tell people we have too many to be full. Yeah, to be the full candy bar house, but we settle for 2 pieces. That's too many. I mean, I haven't bought a candy bar in 500 years. What does a fucking candy bar cost? A king size candy bar. And then you like assume you're gonna go to Costco and get it in bulk, but then multiply that times 300 plus people. That's just I mean, you would though that's the big rich houses. Like I expect them to do that. I know you have the money to do it. We're normal people. 2 pieces is being very generous. With a separate bag of PB cups on the side, dude, PB cups though. PB cups are the shit. What's the point of homework? Well, I hope the point is to frustrate me. I saw something recently. It was like a little meme or blurb or something on Instagram, and it said homework is designed to train us to accept that work does not end when you leave the office at the end of the day, and that you should always expect to do unpaid work at home, and that homework is just training kids to accept that at an early age. Really fucked me up. I don't know if that's real, but holy shit. I'll be lurking while painting, my Warhammer 40K waifu army. Dude, yes. Good morning, Taco. How are you, love? Definitely, we are. Okay, cool. Midnight Milky Ways are so good. Dark chocolate is always better, though. I spend too much on candy. I bought a lot of fundraiser and bulk packs from Sam's Club. I mean, is that a I mean, is there such thing as too much candy? Don't you just freeze it and it lasts forever? Don't even get me stupid on how boom. A teacher saying homework is stupid. I won't tell your students, I promise. But like I know you're my age, and I know we both probably thought the same thing when we were kids. Like, if you can't get all your work done in the day, how come I have to take it home? You know? Like, I never understood that. And even as a kid, I remember thinking, this is the stupidest system because I have to go home with this homework where there's no one to help me. My parents couldn't help me with any of my homework at all. No one could help me. But while I'm at school, where the teacher is right there who could literally help me with my homework, they're going to talk for the full hour and not let me ask a question or even look at the homework to know if I need help while I'm literally there with the teacher who's supposed to be helping me. What the fuck? I think there's value in understanding and learning that what you do in your spare time affects how you perform when called upon the next day. You Homework is a good way to teach kids that adults who get shit faced after work are bad employees. Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think jobs should be sending home free work. When you leave your job, it should be done. Unless you're a very unique job. You ever get coughing fits after taking a sharp hit? Absolutely. Mhm. Yes. Lego bonsai tree? Fuck yes. Oh, I love Lego so much. It was the worst, and it doesn't actually produce educational benefits long term. That's coming from a teacher. Just FYI, my friend Sarah, Bird of the Past, is an actual teacher who teaches children, saying that homework does nothing and it has been proven in the long run to do nothing, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Boom. Wait, you're forced to assign it to six? Like, you're forced to assign homework to a 6-year-old? Do they even understand that concept? What? That's oh, okay. That hurts me inside. The thing of Milky Way, Snicker, etc., full size was $27.98. Giant thing of Hershey bars, $29.98. Giant thing of Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. Oh, is that what they're actually called? $21.88. Huge minis bag, $24.98. Barrel. See, those just sound like a bunch of dope things you can put in the freezer and will literally last forever. Good morning, BDO. How are you, love? 100% it's good to cultivate the habit of doing all your work at work and telling your boss, I don't check in from home. 100%. I think, at least in my memory, again, I'm a little old now, but in my, like, what I remember is, like, you weren't given the work at work or at school. You know what I mean? Like, you would go to a class, like, for instance, geometry, and my teacher would literally talk for an hour, and at the end of the class, assign homework, and then you leave that teacher. So then, whenever that fruit fly is still in my house, I'm gonna murder it. Then when you eventually get to your homework, you're like, fuck, there's no one here who can help me. I've been assigned to something. Like, what? And now you're at home hopeless with it. And you go to school the next day and you get punished if you didn't do your homework or if you just did it wrong because you literally had no one to ask to help you because your teacher took up all the time talking. I don't know. Like, give me the work in class. Let me ask. Let's do it together. That always made more sense to me. And their excuse for it is like, go to study hall where we'll get a student to do it for free instead. I'm here to get taught by the teacher, man, not some fucking student who just happened to get it. I used to do my homework in class while they weren't looking to, Beatree, 100%. I almost never had homework because I made sure to squeak it in. Like, while a teacher was talking, I would, like, half of the book open doing homework from another class so I could go ask that teacher if I had to. I just learned that the system was broken and I had to cheat it to work. It's so inequitable. The kids who need the extra practice are almost always the kids who don't have families that can help, that can or will help them. How is that fair? Me. Literally, and it wasn't that my family didn't want to help me, but I mean, you know, Sarah, I've bitched about it a few times, but the way that education changes constantly, i.e., new math, my parents did not learn new math. So when I went home with some fucked up math, my construction worker father and nurse mother could not help me. And those are not two stupid people. My dad's a foreman and my mom makes bank as an administrator, and yet they could not do my homework or help me with it. And then when I go to school with it undone and ask the teacher for help, I'm punished. Like, it's a fucked up system. You are punished for not being able to do something you're supposed to be taught by the person punishing you. Yeah, how do you do that, Sarah? I literally couldn't if I was you. I mean, you couldn't. Right? How do I justify giving a 6-year-old a bad grade because their parent didn't help them? And literally couldn't. I mean, I think there's a lot of parents, you know that. You know it more than probably most, that most parents are doing their absolute best. But, like, how helpless must you feel as a parent when your child comes home with a shit ton of homework and you physically can't help them? Like, if your parent is going on Khan Academy to learn how to do your new math, to teach your new math, there's something wrong with the system. We had a science teacher in high school who would give us 30 minutes at the end of class, and he was like, you can do two things. You can do your homework now in class, what's fresh in your brain, or you can chat for 30 minutes and take it home. That would be an amazing teacher. Oh my God, imagine. I actually had one really good math teacher in high school. I think he might still, no, I think he retired. But my math teacher in high school was like phenomenal. He would not sit and lecture. He literally started the class with homework, and then there was literally only like 10 kids in my class because it was an elective. You know, I can't remember how much math you have to go through in the US, but like you only have to go through a certain amount of math, and then all the other math you take after that is electives. So if you took trigonometry or calculus, it was an elective, and my graduating class was like 30 something kids. So literally there's only 10 kids in class, and my teacher would just walk around and sit with us in our desks and do our work with us and teach us math. He was phenomenal, but I mean, I don't think you could do that with a big class. Good morning, Mag. How are you? Best teacher's your weed dealer? Dude, one of the cardiac surgeons I used to work with was my weed dealer. Exactly. Either way, I'm grading your homework now, and if it's not done, that's a 0 and it affects your grade. Yeah, he was very explicit in explaining that you focus or you fail. That's a good teacher. I work in a small town that has lots of working family. Many work second shift. They simply don't have the means. It's not fair. I didn't even consider that. I mean, God, I completely forgot. Like, my parents weren't even home after school to help me. No shit. My mom worked until 7 o'clock at night, which means she got home at 9 o'clock at night because of traffic, and my dad did the same. They weren't even home. Lots of students fail because of homework but are smart enough to pass. It's really fucked up that the entire system is so broken that if you are just an intelligent human being, you do not succeed. You succeed by following a recipe that only works for 3% of the human beings. Or by like you succeed by following instructions, not necessarily by gaining intelligence or being a smart person. Like, I remember watching, like, the really smart kids in class who had just the rote memorization down get straight A's. My valedictorian drunk drove a truck through someone's house the year after we graduated. Like, rote memorization does not dictate a successful future in any way. And I have no skills when it comes to rote memorization, and yet I managed to go on and get a medical degree and work at Johns Hopkins. But I was a strong C student because I just can't test take. I can't go home and do my homework by myself. I need help. Like, I'm not that inclined, however the fuck you want to say it. I've been spoiled in that my mom's a former educator. She helped me with my homework and is now helping Junior. Dude, lucky. Life being fair? What? Wokeness has gone too far, and now they want life to be fair?
Out, fire them.
It can't be had. I was blessed with a lot of good teachers in high school who made it very clear how the real world works. You're lucky. I think it was a combination of, like, my teachers were old. Most of my teachers were, like, on the brink of retirement. I was that generation. But also small town, coming from, I mean, a very, like, 1,500 people population for 3 counties together is very small. Very, very small town. There's kind of this, like, overarching understanding or expectation that that literally 3 people in my graduating class went on to more education after high school, whether it was college or whatever. 3. And it's just well known and expected that the vast majority of people are not going on to anything else. They're gonna go work at the mill, or they're gonna work at the school, or whatever. They're gonna do what their parents did because that's what everyone does, because small town life. And so if you're one of those people who does not accept that reality, the system does not work for you in any way, shape, or form. And you're literally just pounding your head against a brick wall 24/7 for the rest of your life. While people look at you like, wait, why would you want to leave Kettle Falls? We have 7 churches and a bar. Why would you leave? What a beautiful place to be, though. Right? It's hard. This teacher had a sign on the wall: hire a teenager while they still know everything. He had a mental crutch award where he would be the crutch people. He would hand the crutch to people who asked a question he had literally just answered in the oh my god, I love that. In the presentation in class. And he would remind us, you have the right to fail, and you cannot do any of the work if you don't want to, but I have a responsibility to not pass you, not give you grades for work you did not do and did not understand. Damn. Imagine, imagine. My mom is pushing me to join the local school system. Nope. I mean, most of I would go so far as to say all the teachers I know, and I'm sure you would agree with this, say don't do it unless you have to, because Jesus fucking Christ. Don't even get me started on how the system fails kids who are neurodivergent or have other needs. I mean, we've talked about that. I mean, the whole reason my parents straight up did not look for a diagnosis for me or any of my siblings is because, like, when I was a kid, I think in all schools, not just small schools, if you had any form of neurodivergency that your parents made this school aware of, you were just pulled out of all normal classes. You were stuck into a special ed class with a volunteer parent who was a special ed teacher, volunteer parent, and you were given workbooks and coloring books for the rest of your education, and you graduated with that stigma on your head. You literally were not allowed to take normal class anymore, and it didn't matter if you were ADD, autistic, insert here. It was anything, and my parents witnessed that because I'm the second youngest of 8, so they saw all my siblings go through the school system, and they were like, "Okay, we know Katie needs extra help, but if she has this on her head, she's going to be butt fucked by the system, bent over dry and left in the rain." So instead, I struggled and felt really, really stupid in all the normal classes my entire life, but I'm still thankful for that because at least I got an education. I got to go to the normal classes. Like, 'cause what the fuck? It's such a it's a dark system of just brushing people under the carpet that don't fit the algorithm that they need us to fit into for things to run smoothly, you know? One of my best friends is a teacher. She teaches 4th grade and has 40 students. 40? I didn't think that was legal. 40 people under one teacher. She said it's not even teaching, it's cat herding. How in the fuck do you teach 40 kids who will inevitably all learn in different ways? I don't know. I don't think that's possible. 40? Is that normal? So you don't have sponge brain, soak up everything, but lose a lot over time. It's more like a metal being hammered into shape and staying that way longer, retaining the knowledge longer. Yes. Like, I can't not, like, for instance, medicine and shit like that, because I went to school for 9 years and just literally lived, breathed, sweated, and bled medicine. That will never go. I can't. Like, it's a switch in my head, and I just flop over into medical form, and it just starts to puke out of me, like everything I ever learned. But it's been ages since I've been in school. But like, you could tell me the name of someone right now, like a famous actor who I really enjoy, and in 15 minutes, I will not know the name of that person anymore. It sucks. But long-term memory, when I am able to do it, like forever, I can't shake it ever. It's just in there. My town also has 7 churches and a bar. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, this is why we're friends. It's too real. I'd leave just based on the number of churches. I mean, it's literally all there is. Like my hometown is 3, I think it's 4 counties actually that make up the town where there's 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, and 1 high school, and about 1,500 people. Graduating classes are around 30 to 40 kids. Like and it has not grown, and I've been out of school for quite some bit. It doesn't move. It's very weird. It's so small. But literally, there's 1 bar, 7 churches, those 3 schools, and then a bunch of low income housing, and that's it. Like, it's nothing. You were treated as someone with lesser faculties. Yeah, they just brush you away. What up, reasonable? How are you? Good morning. 40. I still can't get over that. I question you might not know the answer to Magnesio, but is their school unionized? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. There really isn't a great incentive to be a teacher anymore. You get 100K in debt to make 35K a year in a job where you have to put up with shitty kids and their enabling parents. I feel like that's the reality for so many education fields at this point, because that's how I felt in medicine. Like, I remember going through school and watching my loans just like accumulate at a very alarming rate and thinking to myself, like, this is okay because what I'm doing is worth it. Education is priceless. And once I work in the medical field, like, I'll make enough money that this won't even matter to me. And then when I graduated, I found out I had to pay at least $1,500 a month just to take $30 a month off of the principal loan. The rest of everything I was paying was going towards interest on those loans. And depending on where you live, like I've told you guys, in the West Coast, you start out around $35, $40 an hour. East Coast, around $20 an hour. Cost of living is horrific in both places. And I mean, you start this cycle where you're like, okay, I'm a new grad. I'm not making that much. I'll make more. Like, it'll go. And then you look at the 40, 50, 60-year-old RTs and you're like, oh my God, they're making the same amount of money as me. Oh my God, am I going to pay my loans until I die? I'm gonna pay these until I die. I'm literally gonna die. Like, they were higher than my rent, a house payment, etc. Like, my loan payment's literally higher than everything else in the world. It's such a, but I feel like that's same with teaching. Like, they come out with 100K in debt to make, I mean, Mag, this was a few years ago that I read this, but there was a statistic that was going around that said there wasn't one place in the United States of America that teachers graduated making above the poverty line income. So the vast majority of people graduating with a accredited teaching license and going into the teaching field, they were making under 25,000 a year. Those are the people that you're literally sending your children to spend 90% of their waking hours with every day. And they wonder why we're all so mad. We are raised by anger and disappointment all around us. Good, Sarah. See, I thought there was like a legal cap on class size because that's just insane. That's so many kids. It's still insane. Our contract puts a cap on class size. The district would have to hire people, even if they're underqualified, to keep that from happening. It just, I mean, wow. Sarah, I mean, most of us, I think, will die with them. I think it's just a fact because there's no fucking way. They've really fucked us. They've fucked multiple generations of human beings, like tens of years of human beings. And then they come at us like, why can't you buy houses? You're destroying our economy. I'm like, because my student loan payment is higher than a house payment, and I'm paying it for an education you literally can't take away from me because it's in my head. Like, what can you do other than destroy my credit score and make it so I can't live in the world? They can't take your education. It's there, but they can fuck you for it for the rest of your life. It's very fucked up. Long Island public school teachers make bank. They must have a union then. I hope so. They deserve it. Here in SC, I meet a lot of people who are just outright against the public school system. I mean, it sucks it's really hard to be for it. Like, I would never say I'm against the public school system because without it, a lot of kids would literally not have a meal a day. They wouldn't have a warm, safe place to sit for 6 hours a day. Like without like when you think, I mean, I'm sure I'm just preaching to the crowd right now. Like you guys are good people and I'm sure you're aware of this. But I remember living in Baltimore and there was one year where it got so fucking cold that the heating couldn't keep the schools warm, and all of these kids were sitting in class in their puffy jackets and snow pants, like little kids, shivering. And some famous football player came to the school and was like, "What the fuck's going on here? This is disgusting." And the school was so appalled and embarrassed, they shut the school down and sent the kids home. Half the kids had nowhere to go. Like, they don't have a day home to be in. This is their only safe place, and you're not willing to heat it for babies. And that's where I get fucked up because I'm like, man, bare fucking minimum, you know? Super fucking bare minimum. My life's mission was to cover my son's college. I put 2 through and they're debt free, dude. See, you're probably lucky because you're just young enough that you picked up on the scam that is student loans. I feel like my parents are of that age where they still my parents are a little bit older because again, 8 siblings, second youngest. Like I was way late in the game, and they've got that like the government. They may look like they're fucking up right now, but the government would never do us wrong. Like they've still kind of got this attitude like that. Like student loans are the way to go. You have to do that, and we should be grateful that they even offer these for you. And my mom just signed literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans for me, and I had no idea what was going on in the background. And then I graduated, and they were like, "By the way, we know that you make less than $2,500 a month, but your student loans are gonna be 2,000 of that, so good luck finding a house. Or a fucking roof to live under, you know what I'm saying? Fun fact about student oh wait, good, God tier choice, onion bagel with cream cheese with everything bagel seasoning. Oh, everything bagel seasoning? I want that. Fun fact about my student loans, I defaulted on them. They went to the judge, started garnishing my wages. Then when the hold started for the pandemic, it stopped and hasn't started back up, but I only had, like, 7 they garnished you for $7,000. You know what I have to say about that. She also has to spend a ton of her own money every year for supplies, which is also shit. A few years ago, our friend group started a donation for her so we could put together a few $100s each year for her to buy shit in herself. No shit, Mag. I've kind of bombed Sarah with that at least once a year for her class because she has to do the same thing. This, sorry, Sarah, to like point. I don't mean to put spotlight on you because you're literally here. But this was years ago. Sarah was talking about that. We were talking about the school system and how fucked up it is. And Sarah was like, I think wasn't it right when they started opening up for COVID? Like after the COVID shutdowns of all the schools, they started reopening schools up and making kids go back. And Sarah was like, in a crisis because literally like every kid needed to have their own little carpet, their own little box of everything. Like they need their own, if you remember school, we all shared shit. Like I remember being in the younger years, like usually your desks were squished together and you had a pod and everybody shared all the crayons in the middle and you shared the paper and you shared the staple. And once the COVID shit hit, it was like in order for school kids to function and do things at school, they had to have their own supplies. And the school put that entire responsibility on the teachers to 100% fund the activities happening in the classroom that the school is forcing the kids to go back into, like that environment. Bitch. CJ, thank you so much for 63 months of joy, laughter, and nonsensicalness. I appreciate you. Go forth and be consensual in all the ways. I fucking appreciate you. But Sarah was talking about it one day, and I don't even remember how I asked or if I asked, but I was like, "Hey, do you have like a GoFundMe for your classroom or something like that?" And I can't remember what it was called. Sarah probably remembers the name, but there's actually a website that's similar to GoFundMe, but it's specifically for teachers, which is really disgusting that we've had to do this now. But it's full of teachers who put their class list on there, and you can go on there and buy people's teachers' class lists for them. And I just casually was like, I just want to share it with the community because I think it's really fucked up. And the community abolished her list, I think 3 years in a row. Like, you guys did it in under 24 hours. And I just like casually was like, hey guys, if you want to help out my friend Sarah, it's like, whatever. Which is just like hot sex to me. But it's not right and it shouldn't have to happen. Like, not every teacher has some dope human beings to help out. Like, imagine, I just think of all the people out there who literally are just sitting there like, what the fuck do I do? And you're given 40 kids to babysit all day and nothing to do with them. Wow. So take home after retirement is taking out 41K a year and I'm on my 10th year of teaching. That's not okay. That's upsetting. I mean, Sarah, you shouldn't have to do that. It's so fucked up. This is why the American school system has failed. I mean, it's one of many reasons. Yeah. Oh, I need to grind some weed. Cheers, metal. Good morning, Viper. How are you? Donors Choose. That's the website. If anybody out there is a teacher or you know a teacher who struggles in that way, Donors Choose is really cool because instead of like a GoFundMe or something like that, it's the teachers go on there and put all their supplies and you can go through and like shop their supplies or you can just say, I'd like to put this much money towards the list or whatever. And then all those supplies are then purchased for the teacher or the teacher gets the funds and then puts them towards the supplies. It's fucked up. It shouldn't be real, but at least there's things out there that we can use to help each other because Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. Thank you, Glut. Donors Choose. It was, I mean, I'd never seen it before, and that was pretty cool. We're fine here, just crowdfunding teachers' supplies for 6-year-olds. I mean, it's not, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it doesn't make it okay either way. But I feel like my brain would have a little bit easier time with it if it was like, yeah, we need to crowdfund, 100 $400 textbooks. Like, I would be like, yeah, that's a lot of money. But when your school straight up is like, you know what? Your kids don't need pencils or paper. I don't know what are we going to go back to chalkboards on our desks? What's happening? But that defense budget, though, we can blow up anybody. Ugh. New nurses also get paid like shit until they're at least 5 years in. Even then, Yoshi, I mean, I was just talking about that. Medicine in general, there is no standardization for medical pay at all. The only way you control what you're paid is if you own your own practice, i.e., if you're a doctor, an NP, or something like that. But for instance, I graduated school on the West Coast near Seattle, worked at a major hospital of excellence near Seattle, and I came out making about $40 an hour. Moved over to the East Coast because I got a job at Johns Hopkins, like one of the most legendary historical hospitals in the United States of America where they have billions of dollars and can teach you anything. And I went down to $22 an hour. Same education, same everything, literally more education, more experience, but union versus no union. Cost of living is the same. Like they're not forced to pay you, so they won't. Minimum wage is your employer saying, I'd pay you less if I legally could. So it's that way across the board, though. I mean, I've never, like, the highest paying nurse, respiratory therapist, etc., is not the one at your bedside. It's the one sitting in anesthesiology, or they're sitting for an EBIS or something. Like, and they're still really not rolling. You top out. The most you're ever going to make is around 45, 50 an hour. And that's in your 70s when you're about to die. Some schools districts actively discourage teachers from using it because it reflects poorly on them.
Are you kidding? Wow.
Yes, but think about this, Yoshi. Think about this. The average pay for nurses is 30K, which means 50% of nurses are making less than 30K a year. Nurses, 50% of them are making less than that right now, regardless of how long they've worked, because hospitals work in seniority, not by experience. Unfortunately, it's really fucked up. Unions aren't that great. Literally, I've talked about that before. Like, they're such a, in my opinion, very much a catch-22 because in my personal experience, which you cannot generalize, I totally appreciate that. Unions, yes, they will help you. They will assist you in actually having a living wage and not starving to death and working at 7 different hospitals just to make a living wage. They will protect you from a shitty boss, blah, blah, blah. They will protect you in certain ways. However, I have also witnessed unions at multiple places protect the worst fucking employee on your staff forever, as long as they don't do something illegal. As long as that person on your staff hasn't killed someone or done something horrifically malpractice wise, they will protect that person. The person who calls in 3 days a week, never does their job, hides in the hospital, turns their phone off, turns their pager off, forgets they have patients, they will be protected forever because they didn't do anything wrong. They're doing the best with what they've been given. And that sucks. That makes me super hate unions, but also they got me paid. Yeah, they're not supposed to protect all the workers, just the good ones. They protect all the workers. And like, I respect it, but man, as the worker who has to stay with that terrible employee for the rest of your life, it's driven me away from jobs. You guys know. Working with who you work with makes your job. We're all well aware of that, right? Like every job is the same no matter where you are. There's shitheads everywhere, whether you're a doctor, a mechanic, a barista. There's always going to be some great people you work with, and there's going to be some people who just give zero fucks and have no consideration for other human beings and do nothing. Always. It doesn't matter where you work. It's just a different environment. There's always shitheads. Yep, I'd take a union over no union, like any day, because at least I could afford my bills. My brother came out of nursing school, 2-year degree, making 50 plus an hour here in Wisconsin, and now he's between 80 and 100 hour as a traveling nurse. Traveling nurses make bank. Traveling nurses really do make really good money. Grouped together wanting for themselves is better than everyone just out for themselves. It is. That's the thing, I think. Honestly, like it's better than no, because I've seen amazing employees let go because a boss had a personal thing against them because they don't drink the same flavor of coffee at a non-union hospital. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys know states where it's like, is it called right to work or something like that, where they can just fire you because they just don't like you? They don't need a reason to fire you, really. I've seen that, and a union will protect that, and that is good. Those things that is wrong. You should not just be able to fire people at will because you don't like them. Like there should be an agreement. You know, you give someone a job, and as long as they are doing that job as expected and not doing anything wrong, they should be able to have their job. You know, if you take part in anything that involves other people, there's always a risk of shitty people. It's true. They're literally, I mean, first night at Burning Man, some bitch ran her chains of her bike down the backs of my legs. Burning Man, where everyone's like, love and peace and definitely not drugs. People are everywhere. They suck. Law enforcement union is the only union that should not exist, period. There's a law enforcement union? Huh. At will or right to work, that's what it is, yeah. I support unions, like, in theory. SC is a right to work state, so unions just aren't really a thing here. Honestly, I noticed working on the East Coast, they don't have a lot of unions. Not I mean, in my experience, the West Coast, no hospital isn't unionized. Unless Kaiser I don't know if Kaiser Permanente is unionized or not. But no hospital I've ever worked at didn't have a union on the West Coast. They all and there's multiple, like there's unions for nurses, unions for respiratory therapists, unions for janitorial staff, unions for doctors, intensivists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's a different union for everybody. East Coast, not one union. And we actually were paid to go to classes to teach us how to identify unionizing language so we could turn in our fellow employees, which no one would do. What the fuck? But they tried. We love all the oxymoronic, I think that's the word, named laws out there, like right to work means you don't have the right to work as a human, only as a wage slave. Isn't it fucked up? Police unions are huge. I didn't know. That kind of scares me. I mean, I think everybody deserves to be protected from a shitty boss or a shitty employer, but like the cop union is why murder cops keep their jobs and don't go to jail. Boom, protecting the worst employee on the force. Unfortunately, those employees have murder guns, murder things. I should say guns are just that's just inherent. That's a repetitive, redundant. That was redundant. That's the word. Oh my god, Vex, thank you. We are gonna finish BioShock today, but I try to I like to start out and just chatting and get coffee in my body and wake up. I appreciate you letting me know because I didn't know. I thought I changed. Oh, I typed on the wrong keyboard. I was like, I could have swore I did this earlier. When I was living in CA, I wanted to join a relevant union for me, but ADHD struck, and it never happened before I left. Boo. Really? As a former cop, it's disgusting what unions do and get away with. So, this may be a very ignorant, stupid question. Please let me know if it is. Would it be too far to say the reason we have such a police force right now could be partially, if not a lot, on the part of unions protecting shitty cops? I didn't even think about it being unions. Which could is probably super ignorant of me. I just assumed, police people protecting each other because they don't want police to have an icky name or whatever. I assumed, which like is stupid. Assuming makes an ass out of me and you. Cops aren't even the top 10. What? The 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. Oh, I didn't even know we were on that top. Hold on. Logging workers, believe it. Fishing and hunting workers. Wait, you can work fishing? Whoa, like a crab fisherman. I'm an idiot. Roofers, yeah. Aircraft pilots and flight engineers. Structured iron and steel workers. Delivery and truck drivers. What? Being a delivery or truck driver is the sixth most dangerous job in the United States of America, and you make under 50K a year. Delivery and truck drivers keep the American economy running, transporting commercial goods, blah, blah, blah. It says literally the number of fatal injuries last year, 1,032. Number of fatal injury rate, 29 per 100,000 full-time workers. Fatal injuries. The fuck? What the fuck is happening with this song right now? Can I just have music? Someone's talking, like mumbling at me? I don't want that. Please. Shoo. When you can separate it, call me. God damn. Fuck, that's gnarly. No shit. Have gotten fuck 2 weeks notice when your job can fire you with no notice. Have gotten lots of nasty looks, but when I was in high school and figured out a job is not for me, I quit. No 2 weeks notice. Jobs are never for you ever. The only reason that I would suggest giving a 2 weeks notice is if your job has a law like most hospitals where if you don't give 2 weeks notice, they will never hire you back. Most hospitals, if you don't give at least 2 weeks notice, they put you on a blacklist and you will never ever get hired back. Like you have to work those 2 weeks, like to the last fucking minute. Otherwise, they blacklist you. It's crazy. Have a good nom, queen. Fatal injuries. I know it's death, right? I don't know. Zach and I were talking about that last night. Another wording that bothers me, Vex, is passed away. Like when someone says someone passed, they died. Why are we just making up softer language when we all know what the fuck you're saying out loud? Passed away? They died. They're fucking dead. They died. I don't like passed away. It makes it seem like peaceful or something. Wow, police has 14 under construction workers and electric linemen. Oh my god. I wonder if linemen get fucking shocked a lot. Sorry to burst the bubble, but cop propaganda. I mean, are you sorry to burst a bubble about cop propaganda, Bobo? Look me in the eye and tell me you're sorry. I don't think none of us are sorry knocking down some pigs. What up, Revolticon? Good morning. Good morning, Money. How are you? There's way too much hatred and generalization going on in regards to police and law enforcement. Agreed. And for a while, like in most things, I try never to generalize or allow generalizing. However, it's so hard with police, law enforcement in general, because I have yet to be proved wrong. And yes, people out there just doing their job and doing good things don't make the news. but there's just so many of them doing horrific things making the news. Like, I need some form, like literally any form of law enforcement to in some way, shape, or form prove me wrong that you're making a difference because I haven't fucking seen it ever. And I've worked with a lot of police officers in ERs, and they are all chauvinistic assholes who make jokes about people they have literally just shot who are children. I don't know. Can't generalize personal experience, but goddamn, have I not seen a positive experience. Like, and even as a child, like, it's so weird. I remember having this conversation on a stream a few years ago, but I remember consciously thinking to myself, why is my instinct in the midst of the worst moment of my life where I'm in trouble or someone's attacking me? Why is my instinct not to call police? I have never in my life thought, ooh, call a cop. I'll be safer right now. Ever. I would never, not even a security. I would think, how can I deal with this by myself without that person ever knowing what's going on? Because chances are they might shoot me. Like, that's how, even my parents have, like, I feel like that was instilled with me with my parents. Like, cops are assholes. Just stay away from them. They're probably going to make a situation worse. And I've never, ever, ever felt safe around a cop, ever in my life. No police officer has made me feel safe. If anything, I cross the street to get away from them because they make me nervous. I don't know. It's so hard for me. I see where you're coming from, and I totally appreciate it. It's so hard for me, though, because I just don't see it at all. So, Viper, if you want to get real with it, serious question. How do you work in law enforcement knowing that the vast majority of human beings have this feeling towards law enforcement as a whole? I see law enforcement the way most people see a hospital. You know what I'm saying? If you're in scrubs, you're a nurse, which is bullshit and isn't real, and everybody's a different job, but people on the outside don't know that. So we have to take it from their view, right? You can't expect the general populace to just like know the hierarchy of law enforcement and know the levels of it. We know what we're fed and we know what we experience. And that's it. But like, that is a question I genuinely want to ask a lot of cops. They're like, there are good cops out there. I'm like, how can you be a part of the force you're a part of and call yourself a good cop when everyone around you is doing shit? Like, you can't just put on blinders and be like, but I'm a good person. But I'm a good person. But I'm doing good things when your whole team is not. Like, you can't do that. It doesn't make you a good person to put on horse blinders. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, like, in general. I'm really curious. Like, it's a question that pervases my head because I know some cops that are decent people, but they will not have this conversation with me. If I knew the vast majority of nurses I worked with didn't care about their patients and may or may not be kind of killing them to make their job easier, I couldn't call myself a good person being a nurse just because I did my work well. Genuinely curious though, like, real question, because no one will tell. Like, how do you do it? Someone broke into my car and tried to steal it from in front of my house. Several folks told me to call the police. I told everyone I didn't want to bring gun violence into my life and never called them or filed a claim. I've never done. I mean, same. It's I just don't. They do not give me an instinctual like, oh, they're here for me. They're here to protect me. Like, I feel like a cop is here to point out something I did wrong, even though I called them for help. You know? I've had cops put guns in my face after coming up on me having a meltdown because of some stupid shit my brother was doing. I can't. Guns make me nervous on top of it all. My dad was a police officer for Washington, D.C. in the 70s, so my dad was always in law enforcement. Of this, I knew people that were good people, but I don't know when at work. And that's the thing, there's good people everywhere. You know? You can be the one Nazi that didn't shoot any Jews, but if you're a Nazi, you're still a Nazi. Not that I'm comparing cops to Nazis, but, like, taking the extreme example, it's really hard for me, no matter how well you do your job, to say there's the good person when you choose actively to stay a part of such a fucking shitstorm of obvious, like, bad shit and cover-ups and stuff like that. I had this conversation with a former cop here in the UK, and the answer was that he couldn't do it. That's why he quit, because the cops never cared about the means or the outcome so long as the problem went away. And I've had a few family members that did the same, they just left it. And Viper, if that's what you do, then absolutely. Like if literally you call, but I feel like I've heard stories like from people who, they want to call out the stuff and want to like, whistleblow or whatever. But when you're the only one and you whistleblow and you just get fired and then everybody just wipes away the whistleblow, you know, I don't know. I'm just asking. Like I genuinely do not know what I would do in that situation. At all. I appreciate you actually talking about it though, because I don't like generalizing. I think it's really unfair. I know there's good people. It's just I have a hard time believing that there's an entire, you know, I just haven't seen it. I have yet to experience a positive in any way, shape, or form law enforcement experience, and I just don't feel good around them ever. And it makes me sad. It shouldn't be that way, you know? If everyone chose not to do my specific job of all the all wait, all the pedos, rapists, murders, etc. would be back on the street. I mean, they are on the street still though, like right now. How do you genuine question? How do you deal with the fact that no matter how many pedos, rapists, murders, etc. that you arrest, there's still going to be exponentially more still out there not getting caught? How do you deal with that? Because that would drive me crazy. Like I just heard the statistic yesterday. For every whoa, my god, what is it? It's like for every 1,000 children in the US, there's 5 active pedophiles assaulting them right now. Like, that's just statistically speaking, because there's just I mean, it's fucking rampant, horrific. It's like, I remember oh god, one job I worked, I don't remember which job it was. Someone told me this because I used to stay late at work all the time, and they would be like, "Stop staying late. No matter how late you stay, no matter how hard you work, there is always more work to do." You finish your work today, they will make more work for you tomorrow. It's like no matter how many pedophiles, rapists, etc. you arrest, there's 10 more out there. How do you do that? You're a corrections officer, not a cop. You make sure and see that's the thing. I don't know the hierarchy of police either, so thank you for clarifying that. Make sure they remain in prison. Good. I listen. So my just to give you like a scope of where my brain comes from on this shit. I listen to true crime 24/7. I listen to the court cases. I listen to literally the entire court sessions. I listen to the interrogations. It's an obsession of mine. It's crazy. And when I look at how many cops it took to arrest one person, and statistically speaking, how many more of that person are just out on the streets and how much time it took to get that one person, we don't have enough human days left on this planet to get all the creepy fuckers out there murdering everyone and fucking raping and whatever. And it is daunting. And chances are you didn't get the worst. You got the one who got caught. Like the best ones, the worst offenders are getting away with it. It's gross. It makes me feel gross. And then I see people like, and I'm sure you see this because you work in the prison system, but holy shit, this is the part. These are the ones that blow me away because there's no like standardization. Like if you murder someone, there isn't just oh, you get to go to life for prison. It's like, well, did you beat him up first? Did you suck their dead penis? Like there's all these things that can make it so maybe you don't get a prison sentence or maybe you get out on good behavior. Like no shit, there are people who have murdered and assaulted hundreds of children who are walking the streets today because they got out on good behavior or the prison was overloaded. And I'm sorry, I don't think that person should be even up for those options. What the fuck? And it's all the time. You probably might live near someone who went to prison for raping and is just out on good behavior because they were pleasant. I mean, fucking what's his oh god, that one oh, what was his name? Famous murderer. Really tall guy. He cut his mother's head off and fucked her throat. Fuck, what was his name? He was so pleasant and is so pleasant in prison that they gave him a job of recording audiobooks for blind children. So chances are, if you have a child that goes to a school for the blind, they listen to audiobooks read by Ed Kemper, that's his name. Listen to your kids' audiobooks. There's a huge chance they're just being inundated with Ed Kemper's voice because it's so pleasant. But he was the co-ed killer. Like he fucked his mother's neck wound. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that freaks me out. Good behavior, what? Who judges that? You know? Like, there's gotta be a line where, like, you murder someone or you fuck with kids, you just don't You just are in this box now. Like, no one's ever gonna pay attention to your appeal or bullshit ever again. That's your box. Is that fucked up? I think it's a whole system. Exactly. We hold 1,500 criminals at my prison alone, and majority are oh my god, how do you deal with that, dude? Even just knowing it. Like, I'm sure they're not, like, coming out and talking to you like, "Hey, I love kids." But, like, how do you emotionally god damn. I think about, those, like they've done, like, experiments and shit with water where they scream angry things at a bowl of water and then play really peaceful chants of monks around a bowl of water, and the molecules of water actually look different. Like, what does that do to you psychologically knowing you're around all those horrific people who, in my person, do not deserve life? I don't support the death penalty, but my god. There's gotta be something worse than death for pedophiles. That's ugh. Education's hella important. I'd be okay with bad people going to jail, but if that actually happened, but too many falsely accused and innocent black, brown, indigenous sitting in jail for their whole lives. And that's again, I mean, agreed hard. In Texas alone, there are over 40,000 people in jail for low risk marijuana crimes, meaning they had less than an ounce of weed on their person and someone put them in jail. 40,000 people, over 40,000 in just Texas alone are incarcerated for minor marijuana charges. There has to be some sort of checks and balances with prisons because I agree with you. There are rapists and pedophiles and child molesters and assaulters and people working in like creepy porn rings and stuff like that on the internet. Those people are the ones we need to be catching, but I think it's easier and cheaper and fiscally good to just like keep people coming into the prison. And so it's like, well, we didn't find any rapists today, but that guy had some weed and we can get that. It feels like that. It feels like a business, kind of like hospitals. Hospitals are fucked up too. No comparison. Not no one's not better than the other. They're all fucked up. But that's what it feels like and looks like from the outside, and it doesn't make any sense. I agree. The system's fucked. The only way to change something is to jump in and try. Sitting around bitching and complaining doesn't change a thing. 100%. But like, don't you ever worry about literally dying? Like, what if your entire like team was corrupt and you were the only good person and you tried to whistle blow and they fucking hit you with a car and just got it? Like, genuinely, does that scare you? Because that shit actually really happens. Mystified. I hope you're doing well. I got COVID, but I'm getting better. Thank you for asking. I know a fate worse than death. Shopping on Black Friday or during the holidays in general. Oh my god. I think solitary needs to be reassessed. Yeah, because I mean, there's way too much scientific proof and evidence, et cetera, showing how detrimental solitary confinement is to a human brain. Like, yeah, there needs to be punishment. Like, you can't be a piece of shit and not expect to be punished. But like destroying someone's internal psychosis, I'm sure you know way more about it than I do. I've watched like documentaries on prisons and stuff, and there's that one show about that guy who was falsely imprisoned for like over 20 years and now he goes around like trying out prisons all over the world. And it's just solitary, man. I understand. Like there are people who are just like out of this world, violent, et cetera, who need to have a cool down space, but leaving people to the detriment of their psychosis seems wild. Most prisons in the US are for profit. They're privately owned, yes. Bitching about it helps educate people. That's true. Bitching, I mean, that's like if you think about it honestly, Viper, if I had not bitched about police, we wouldn't have this conversation and I wouldn't have learned what you've taught me. So, like, in a way, sitting around bitching about stuff absolutely helps. Because, I mean, if you think about it, bitching is just a conversation. How else do I learn? It's kind of like people that come here and learn medicine stuff from me. Had you not popped into my channel for boobs, maybe you wouldn't know that you have a cool nerve that goes from your head to your liver called your vagus nerve. And if you poop too hard, you can Brady your heart out and die. But, like, you wouldn't come here for that, and had I not just said it, you wouldn't know it. But, like, conversation's fucking important, I think, and if you had not been here, I would not know more. Like, you have taught me because I bitched. I don't like to hear people complain either, but seriously, if it leads to a productive conversation with someone as yourself who is more knowledgeable in the area of law enforcement, et cetera, fuck, I'll bitch all day. It's better to learn from a real person than the media or whatever the fuck we're being fed, you know what I mean? You know that. I've known you for long enough. I know you're not a fucking idiot. Oh my God. Every day you fear for your life. About 2 months ago, a really good friend of mine was sexually assaulted and beaten to a pulp at work. My God, you're brave as fuck. That shit would just pervase my head. Another use of a tool without fully understanding the effects of said tool. Yes. I don't suck at the corporate cock by stroking ego. I do so. Wait. I do so by doing good work, but the PCs love getting their ego penises sucked, and that's not a service I provide. Amen. Canada's just as racist and bigoted as the US. We didn't send it to you. That's all, y'all. Dude, racism's everywhere. I feel like it's everywhere. We be bitching. We fucking groan, and but it leads to a good if it leads to a good conversation where I learn more and I don't sound like an ignorant chud talking about things, I'll bitch all day. I think it's a good thing. Dude, I love Control. That song, I've been waking up with it stuck in my head and I don't know why. I do. They're on my butt though, so you often don't see the boobs. The inmate was attacked by a
I'm
friend, got 24
going
hours of 4-point
to
restraints.
eat your soul and shit.
You'd get more than that at a hospital, for fuck's sake. Thank you so much for sending the class, keeping the class alive, and giving an A Swings poop deck. I fucking appreciate you. That's a lot of fucking months. He immediately attacked again when we let him out. I mean, yeah. Yeah, discussion and not overly emotional arguments are beneficial. It's how we pass on ideas. Literally, it's how we as a species learn together. And I feel that a lot of people, that do like we don't talk politics, religion, guns, we don't talk about serious stuff here because you never know who you're going to offend. If you just learn how to talk and not be a bitch about it, you can talk about almost anything and not offend people. Almost is a strong word. But I find that if you're just a kind human and you just are open to listening to someone, you can talk about almost anything. You don't have to be a fucking
Snowflake.
seriously. I love myself a fucking good conversation with someone who does not agree with me if they want to have a good conversation. It's how you learn, it's how you grow as a fucking human being. Most Southern people I know, if they know someone did SA or other, they will do a call to action over calling the cops. I can't say I wouldn't. I mean, you know what I say all the time, Yoshi. Like, I'd be in prison today if I had children. Dude, they got rid of all our boobs and our butts way back in the day. Me too, Vex. I mean, I think like, I don't think he does either. Neither of us feel sick, and neither of us have a fever at all anymore. It's just exhaustion and but see, it doesn't, it's gone now. It's just like every couple of minutes I'll have a little bit of a hack and it's gone. It's not like it's sitting in my lungs or anything like that. And I think we're just taking care of ourselves. Like, I drink so much juice and I take my vitamins every day and I sleep like 8 hours a night. Like, I'm treating myself like an elderly patient, but I feel so much not sick anymore. And that's key because Jesus fucking Christ, that sucked. Fun fact, a study was done years ago that shows most men are into butts over boobs. It also showed a lot of men have good taste. Amen. I think people bodies are really cool and I'm going to look at all of them. I love me a body. I'm just going to look. Bodies are cool. I want to see Kamo with her. Dude, I used to have a pineapple emote. No shit, because pineapples used to kind of be like this, like, ooh, I smoke weed if I have a pineapple somewhere. Now it means you are a swinger, I guess. Pineapples. Who'd have thought it? I don't swing, but allegedly it means you swing now. This fruit fly is driving me nuts. Smart money. I know it took my bro a few months to get his lungs back. He bikes a lot. That's what I'm the most nervous about. Is me lungs. Like, they haven't been bothering me. Like, I don't feel out of breath or anything. But I definitely had myself a fuck the other day. And I was so my lungs were on fire. It felt like the first run after taking a year off of running. I'm gonna get that fruit fly and murder it. My lungs were on fire. I'm very nervous to start running again. I didn't like considering I literally haven't had a cough very much or much of anything going on here. It's wild how much my lungs have just decided to retreat into themselves in 2 weeks. Money, I mean, that's us. We're all boosted and everything, and we've been super, super lucky about it. But we went to TwitchCon in Las Vegas the weekend before the F1 race and, flirted with the devil a whole fucking lot. I tried. We tried, but like, you know. Thankfully, literally only myself, Zach, and one other person in our group that we were hanging out with tested positive. My sister didn't even get it. My sister and I were like laying on each other and sharing drinks and shit. So I really think I must have got it almost the last fucking day we were there. I had to have, because no one else we were with got it at all. Selma Hayek. Is that even a question? You know the answer to that. Are you kidding? She's a goddess. Is that even a thing? I'm working, pushing, and that's the thing. I don't want to lose what shape, like the fitness I'm in. That's my biggest, like, for the 7 days, I ate like one bowl of soup a day and I could feel myself withering. I was like getting all ribs and shit, looking at myself in the mirror like, oh God, oh no. I don't have much to spare. And it just went real fast. Really, I had COVID for about a week. All it presented itself was a chest cold. And for me, it's been basically like a sinus infection fever. Thankfully, not the chest cold because I do not want that. I need to breathe. Just grab, well, you'd think the weed smoke would make it go away, but Jesus fucking Christ. 100% Viata, agree hard. Hard agree. I mean, if we really want to bring it down to brass tacks, my sexual attractions are towards the human variety, i.e., the flesh and the fat and the jiggle and the skin and the hair. And like, I've never really had the urge to fuck plastic. You know? Just doesn't do it for me. Selma Hayek all the way. Good morning, Kel. Selma and Dogma. Oh my God. Glut, I cannot tell you how many times in my life I've gone on full missions to try to find that lingerie set from Dogma. Jesus fuck my ass. I want it. I have wanted it since I didn't have boobs and watched Dogma. I want it so bad, and it just doesn't exist. They don't make it. But goddamn, is that not a passion of mine? I will have it one day. Today marks being 14 weeks, dude.
Fucking hell yeah, money.
Dude, Rogue, my Nana said this ages ago, and I've tried to keep it close to my heart because I remember being a kid, like all the girls in my family were like thicker. You know, we're not naturally bony people. We got boobs and stuff. And we were complaining about our bodies or whatever. And my Nana was like, you know what? Your grandfather tells me he doesn't like to search in the sheets for his woman. He likes something easy to find. And I don't know, that really stuck with me. And like, at least I'll never get lost in sheets. Selma, oh dude, Dawn to Dusk with the snake. Oh my God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. From 2 packs a day? Dude, good for fucking you. Oh my God, Glut, thank you. I was literally, when you messaged me about it, I was sitting at my computer trying to figure out Throne. Not shitting you. I was looking for the link to just embed it into chat somewhere. And it just kept, like I would click, connect your Throne to Twitch or whatever. And it would just bring me to my dashboard on Twitch over and over and over again. I'm like, no, no, no. No, no, no. Like, where's the browser source? Like, where's the thing? Like, I just want the thing. Fucking Glut messaged me out of nowhere. Hey, do you want me to add Throne to chat? And just does it. Why do I even try? I'm a special. Search in the sheets, no shit. My grandpa had good. He had good ones. All bodies are beautiful. Let's be real though. We love bodies. That Mount sounds like a classy fucker. A man who can appreciate the thicker cuts. He definitely did. My grandpa was a classy motherfucker. Amen. Thick or thin, if you make your lady's body, I should say your person's body a temple who your love worships, she will appreciate your devotion. And it doesn't hurt if you just sacrifice some virgins once in a while all upon that. We do love to bathe in the bloodbath. Know what I'm saying? Get yourself a little blood bathing. The baby shark slippers? Who has baby shark slippers? I want that. Glut is a wizard, I know. I didn't know, but I knew. Well, virgins, you know, people you don't like, whatever. Blood is blood. Did I get it? Let's be real. A penis doesn't change anything about anybody else. But you know, sacrifices are fun. I heard people did that in temples back in the day, right? Good morning, Goonies. Thank you so much for summoning the class, keeping the class alive, and giving an A swings for 60 fucking months in a row. I appreciate you. I wanted to take a break really quick. I want to cheers with you, but I didn't rinse my bong, and it's gross. This is yesterday's water, and I just can't do it. So let's take a real quick first break of the day, and Katie's gonna go rinse her nasty bong so she can take a hit with everybody, and then maybe we can finish some motherfucking Bioshock. Baby shark slippers? Oh my god, imagine. Rinse your bong, everybody. No shit. I mean, I could smoke out of this and probably be totally fine, but I choose to be a good example. The reason that if you have a history of smoking marijuana, you are not eligible for a lung transplant no matter what is simply because so many of you fucks never change your bong water and you get asymptomatic fungal pneumonia that you just don't even know you have. And if you have fungal anything, you are off transplant list, period, because fungus goes everywhere. It doesn't stay to one system. So they're not going to put a set of good lungs in you if there's a chance that there's a fungus in you that's going to ruin them. Clean this. Again, if you have history of smoking pot and or literally any fungal infection, you are not eligible for transplants of organs. Period. Is it that hard to rinse your fucking bong? Rinsed my bong. Look, clean water. Sick. So easy. Do it. Welcome back, everybody. Zoe, how are you feeling? Fungi are the nature wasn't sure plant. Goddamn, that's beautiful. Funguses are really wild. They're kind of mystifying. Like that's why they're so scary. It's really hard to go after a fungal infection anywhere in your body, especially a lung fungal infection. You don't want to fuck with it. Don't fuck with it. Jack, how are you, love? Good morning. Happy Saturday, time zone, whatever the fuck it is. It's just, oh no. Oh no, I just touched weed. Don't get weed in your eye. A 2015 study found that lower skilled male players of Halo 3 were more hostile towards teammates with a female voice, but behaved more submissively to players with a male voice. Higher skilled male players, on the other hand, behaved more positively towards female players. The authors argued the male hostility towards female gamers in terms of evolutionary psychology, writing, quote, female initiated disruption of a male hierarchy incites hostile behavior from poor performing males who stand to lose the most status. Still the best gaming fact. Fucking top comment. Noted. Misogyny is a skill issue. That's beautiful. Is microdosing working out really good? Fuck yes. Dude, fuck yes I did. Honestly, I fucking love your fursuit. But yeah, that was fucking badass, dude. It's rare that Twitter actually gives me things I want to see. Like my friends being awesome and succeeding and doing cool things, you know? So when I see it, I'm like, oh my God, can I like it 3 times? Hey, Elon, this is what I want. This is it, right? Can we just, oh, you're just going to put your face up again. Okay, just kidding. That's not what I wanted. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. It's a frustration issue, as is a lot of negative bullshit. 100% yes. I think people who desire to be greater than they are will attack the perceived vulnerability of anyone they see as a threat. Isn't there like a cheesy quote about that where it's like, you can judge someone's character based on how they treat people that they cannot benefit from? Something like that. There's a good quote about it, and it's something about the character of a person, and it's all about like just being kind and thoughtful and considerate of things that you cannot benefit, like things, people, things, whatever that can't give you something in return. Holy shit, I finished the fursuit 20 minutes before I left for the convention. Dude, you made the whole thing? Okay, don't mind me while I be a little nosy. How much work was it? How much did it cost? Fursuits are so fascinating to me. I have learned so much from the furry community just within our community, like based on what they cost and the hours that goes into them. Like they are full on cosplay outfits. Like, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean that in the best possible way because cosplay is work. Holy shit. It reminds me of going to Burning Man. Like I was still working on shit the whole time I was at Burning Man. That you can judge a lot about how someone treats a person who can do nothing for them. I love that. It's so true. It's very true. I mean, man, it is crazy true. What up, Japita? How you doing, honey bean? Good morning. Another good shit of character is that they follow rules even when no one's looking. Isn't that literally like the definition of there's a what is it? Not charisma. There's some word. Integrity. Yeah. I think that's the like it's like a loose definition of integrity. Like, do you stop at a stop sign when there's no one there? Yeah. The golden rule of treating others the way you would treat yourself, you yourself would like to be treated. It's such a crazy concept that just doesn't work for some people. Me and my wife, about 30 to 40 hours, holy shit, of labor, maybe 500 bucks in materials. That's actually not terrible. Like, I've some of the fursuits for people in our community that they actually have like purchased and stuff and that we've looked at online. I mean, I'm sure you know, upwards of $7,000. And they are immaculate. Like, we've gone to the websites where it shows like the artist breaking down all the pieces and all the mechanics that went into creating it. It's fascinating to me. Like, I've never had the patience to do that kind of stuff, but I fucking love watching it. It's me. I'm poor people. Hard same. You can see the truth of you can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 1749 to 1832, German poet, novelist, and philosopher character. Philosopher character? Philosopher character. If I was to sell it, the head alone would be 2K if I was to sell it. Just based on the amount of hours you put into it, 100%, and you probably would have made 25 cents an hour. No shit, apparently this is a very hotly debated quote. Origins, the oldest reference found. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, let's be honest. As long as people keep saying it, it's a really good quote. I tell kids that all the time. Just because you aren't being watched doesn't mean you can't do the right thing. It's still a work in progress. I feel like it's always a work in progress. I run into that shit with adults a lot. Adults love to try to pull off something they know is wrong just because it like gives them a hit in their head. Like, for instance, I know some stoners who will drive in some very questionable conditions while ripped out of their mind. And I'm like, if you don't have to drive, like, why are you just winning a secret contest in your head if you make it alive? Like, no one knows if you lost or won this secret contest in your head unless you die. And then we know you lost. Like, everybody loses when you die. It's just such a weird thing. I understand, like, we don't, I just used an example, but you know what I mean? Oh my God. As a neck tattoo in Comic Sans. Okay, no. Cheers. I have to smoke pot about that. Oh no, do I not have a lighter? I might have to go get a lighter. Hold on. Yep. I don't have a lighter. BRB. Lighter. Headphones. A philosopharian. All of us, when we get high and talk life, we're all philosopharians. Yeah. Yes. I moved to the Found Philosopharian Church CK, though not, oh God, not in America for shitty tax purposes, because that's bullshit. No offense. 100%. It's really, I mean, it's such a weird concept if you think about it. Like, religious institutions being tax exempt. Like, the moment you apply to be tax exempt as a religious institution, you're telling me you want to make money off religious institution, right? The shopping cart theory. A shopping cart theory to test if you're a good human or not. Have you ever heard Zach tell this story, Glut? Zach has told this story a couple times on his stream, but he's told the story of how he knew I was the one, quote unquote, because he watched me put away my shopping cart. I did not do that to be the one. I'm gonna kill you, fruit fly. Yeah. He told me that years after we met, and he said it on his stream a couple times, but he said, I guess after I moved in, there was a point we went fucking grocery shopping, and I put the groceries away and then took my cart and like drove it back to an actual cart return. And apparently that was mind blowing to him. I worked retail as a cart return. It's just a thing in my head to do now. But like, wow. It's very interesting. I'm gonna read this, but it's very interesting. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, the shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing for returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal, an absolute savage who can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with the law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is a good or bad member of society. Wow. Whoa. Oh my god, Jack, absolutely. Yeah, send it to me on Twitter or something. Yeah. I love I mean, it's just it's a different world of cosplay that I was unaware of and now I'm obsessed. I put mine away simply because I've been the person collecting carts. Me too. And it's really, I mean, if you think about it, like, not to dig on either of us, but it's a little sad that we both had to have that personal experience of working the hell that is, I'm going to get that fruit fly, the hell that is retail to have that scope. Like, I think I am nice to people because I worked retail. I know what it's like to have strangers come at you and have no power over changing anything they're mad about. So I try to be a nice person. I always bring the cart back. I know people don't because I see carts randomly around, but also it's just kind. It's just kind. I agree. I just don't. Every time we accidentally decide to go shop in person, both of us end up parking next to some parking spot that's 7 carts deep, and I'm like, the cart return was 2 parking spots down. Like, I just don't understand. Like, but I think it's people like, ooh, I got away with it dirty. No one can do anything to me. Hee hee ha ha. It's some weird like, I'm gonna get that fruit fly and kill it. It's something in our heads that's broken. I clear my table at restaurants too. I'm sick. Or if you drop a pencil next to someone, that's a good test. If they pick it up. Another question, are you still a good person if you know shopping cart theory exists? If you did it naturally beforehand, maybe. There's not a zero amount of people who will unload your cart into the conveyor belt and then walk away from the cart, leaving it in the aisle to block all the customers behind them. What? Be nice to servers and retail workers, even if you have an issue. It's like people think the person working at the counter make corporate policy. That shit drove me nuts back when I worked at Lowe's. I was a head cashier. And I would stand at the front of the door and manage the cashiers, basically, was my job. But watching people go after a cashier for their experience in the store, and in my brain, I'm thinking, you saved up all of these horrific words and this behavior for the person who is the lowest paid, worst treated human in the staff of the fucking store. They are bound to that register. They've probably never even walked down the aisle you're bitching about, ever. They have no idea where things are because they're a fucking cashier. What the fuck? Tell me you've never worked retail without telling me you've never worked retail. Holy shit. It's astounding. It was nauseating. I've collected someone else's cart before they left and was about to run into another person's cart. I couldn't believe they just checked before just leaving it. Yeah. I've done the same. I've literally returned a cart. It's just, but I don't do it I just do it because I'm like, that's not supposed to be there. Fuck yes, Jack. It annoys me when people leave their carts and say it's their job to get the carts. It is because you leave them, just like it's the bus's job to clean the table when you leave it unnecessarily messy. It's just their job it just makes their job more frustrating when it doesn't need to be. Yeah. Yep. 100%. This conversation is an argument to remove the age-long cart collector's job. I mean, there still has to be a cart collector, right? Like, if you have a cart return in your parking lot, there still has to be someone who go gets those carts out of the cart return, right? But, like, this, again, can't generalize personal experience. In my experience, though, that cart person was never just a cart person. I've never worked anywhere that literally was willing to pay a human being solely to be responsible for carts. It was usually like, hey, we're kind of slow, send 3 cashiers into the parking lot. And, like, depending on how many fucktwats decided to leave their goddamn lumber flatbed cart at the farthest fucking corner of the parking lot where it definitely does not belong, I get my cashiers back sooner. And then I can close the store with my cashiers. Because we also have to clean all the bathrooms, sweep all the floors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because cashiers are shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was never a cart person. It was just like usually a cashier who was male and strong. We'd be like, you go outside, get some cards. It was never an actual person. So I don't know if they'd remove a job or just maybe they'd actually get to do the job they were paid to do. I don't know. Maybe. Retail employees are since 100%, especially people that stay in it, man. God damn. I straight up stop checking them out, take their cart at the end of the checkout line, and then go back to check them out. Good. They don't make eye contact after that. Good. Different spin on it. Theme parks. You're sat next to two empty seats. Do you close the seatbelts or restraints for the attendant? You don't gain anything. The attendant will still have to check the empty seats. You gain nothing. Nobody will expect you to. Nobody's asking you to. You don't speed the things up all that much. You won't be kicked out of the park if you don't, but nothing will happen if you do. Do you check the empty seats? I have never, ever had empty seats next to me. They always make me sit next to strangers who scream and spit on me. But also, every time I get in the ride, the seatbelts are already buckled. And I have never gone out of my way to unbuckle an empty seats buckle. Like, usually they're buckled and I have to unbuckle them to get in. So I've never, ever thought about it, honestly. A lot of the older generation and people I've witnessed breaking down in customer service folks are, in my opinion, unmedicated and undiagnosed emotional and mental health issues. 100% yes. From a generation that was told to suck it up, walk it off, and received as much affection as they could squeeze out of their talking box. Yeah, that's a huge thing. Absolutely. They don't hire cart collectors anymore. It's an addition to most other employees' jobs. Yeah, I mean, when I worked at Lowe's, literally straight when I was in college, and this was a bit ago, we did not. I don't think they had someone just for that job. Like, you would just send out people who weren't doing. It's like, if you can lean, you can clean. If you got free time, go get some fucking carts. Leaving your cart randomly in the parking lot and driving off is like farting in a room full of people before you walk out. It's the crop dust of the parking lot. Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly. At age 15, my job was to bag groceries, collect carts. Yeah, that's pretty much what cashiers like. I'm gonna kill it. As a cashier, that was basically like all the leftover, stuff. We had to do it all the time too. My first job was pop and chips at the grocery store, and if not dairy, yeah. I'd get a fursuit. I'd get a fursuit. I just need my mental health to stop kicking my ass and be less poor. It'll happen any day now. Any day now. I'll improve everything starting tomorrow. Oh, not feeling it, but surely tomorrow. Nope.
The feedback loop is real. Yeah.
Cheers to that. I feel that. Clean water. Yay. No shit. I was the cashier and prep cook at the NHL hockey arena in Ottawa. Oh, God, that would have been busy as fuck. What up, LZT? How's the studying? The grocery carts cause damage to personal property and injury to folks when they're left scattered across the parking lot. Not checking the empty seat causes no damage. Theoretically. I have no idea. Yeah, I would think not. Teaches you something about serious life skills. Then I moved in the kitchen. I cleaned up carpets in the summer to pay for school. I think the best lessons in how to deal with or, just communicate with people was definitely working in food service. People get so, and like, you have a right to bitch about your food if you see me drop it on the floor and try to serve it to you, et cetera, et cetera. Like, yes, there are moments that you walk up, but people are so fucking weird about their food. And what drives me crazy is if you're this weird about your own food, fucking make it yourself. There ain't nothing at taco time you can't fucking make yourself. You know what I'm saying? And these people, I mean, it's crazy. This was when I was in high school, and I still remember this customer that would come in regularly. She had a young son, and she would come in and get a veggie burrito, no sour cream, no cheese, extra sunflower seeds. And then she would sit there and stare at me and go, I'm not an ethical vegetarian. See my leather shoes? And then she would just sit there and talk to me about all the leather things she owns for an hour. And I'm like, there's 20 people behind you. Please go away. Like, and she would come in like every day. And that wasn't even there was just so much weird about people. And it's with something that they could just be doing on their own and not have to attack a strange teenager for. I don't know. It was just food service, man. Really gave me like I can keep a real calm face while someone screams in my face. And it's amazing. I think it was just food service. Good morning, Jade. I have to go to the restaurant in an hour to celebrate mine and a friend's birthday. You have to? Is your birthday today? Happy birthday. If you don't if it's your birthday, you don't have to literally do anything. Fuck the world till it hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's your fucking day. Honestly, it doesn't really matter all that much. The attendant still has to go through every seat. Do you have to buckle the seatbelts? Because I'm serious. Every time I've ever gotten into a ride at a theme park, the seatbelts are pre-buckled like they do it when the people get out. And now that I have an office job with a pension and benefits and union, I excel by applying the work ethic and organization skills I learned doing that shit, and it helps foster the attitude of gratitude as well. 100%. And you treat people like humans. It's tomorrow, but thanks. Remind me, I want to sing you happy birthday. But no shit, if it's your birthday, you don't have to do shit. Literally, shit. Work a shift at a theme park. I wouldn't know what to do. I don't care about people's safety enough. You know? Although I am apt at strapping people to surfaces, so. I just fix machines and solve problems for brilliant people with high standards because they appreciate how far forward I look when I anticipate ways to make their machines work better with less inconvenience to them. I mean, fucking A. I have to. We pre-ordered the food. It's your birthday. You don't have to do anything. At all. You could take that food and throw it off your balcony at an old lady's face. It's your birthday. And if it's for your birthday, you still have rights. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. I used to have an old man who, when he lost his wife, he would come into Pizza Hut, sit alone. I used to sometimes just sit with him and give employee discount. I used to sit with. We had a few patients. I had a few customers like that at Taco Time. They would come in like twice a week at the exact same time on the same days, and they were always alone. And if I was working the cash registers, I'd go sit with them and just chit chat. Old people, literally, that's one of the things I miss about working in a hospital. People who are significantly older than you lived literally a different fucking life. Their stories are the best. They tell the coolest fucking stories because it's a world that didn't exist for me. I literally wasn't born into the world they're talking about. And it's so fascinating. I miss that shit. But yeah, they're just fun to talk to. I had an old man who, when he lost his wife, would come into Pizza Hut and sit alone. Oh my God. What I hate most is that I should know better, but I will genuinely believe myself when I say starting tomorrow and then wake up feeling worse when I have it in the last week. I know. And then you allegedly, literally, if you're anything like me, you have to give yourself a borderline heart attack to do the thing. And once you do it, you just sit there like, wow, that was so easy. Why am I like this? And then you're just disgusted with the fact that you could have done this weeks ago and not lived through the existential anxiety of it because it took 2 seconds to do. But it's giving yourself a borderline heart attack to do the thing. Like your heart rate's in your eyeballs and you're sitting there shaking and sweating like you're going to die and there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex behind you and also the nun in the fridge or whatever. Why? I do the same. It's so crazy. Like brains. Why you like this? Dude, you have not understood humanity until you face the humiliation. Would you say humiliation of customer service work? I agree with you. I mean, it really does. It shows you the worst version of people. Boom! I just stabbed the camera. Mama V says you don't got to do shit. X amount of years today-ish yesterday, had there not been adequate medical care and your mom's pussy not worked, we wouldn't have you. The least people can do around you who claim to love you and want to celebrate you is let you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Whether that's nothing or throw your food off your balcony at an old woman's face. And if they don't like that idea, maybe they don't give that much of a fuck about you. Spend your birthday with better people. I think you're pretty cool. I'd let you throw your food in an old lady's face. What up, Bluffs? Maybe. How is it different from making sure I had the right stock ready for the rush in arenas and kitchens? It's not. In the end, I'm still just taking care of other people by being prepared and doing my shit correctly. But I think it's equal. Like, am I wrong in saying it really doesn't matter the content? Like, it's the integrity of just doing your job because that is your job and you are able to do it. Like, that's just being in like having integrity, right? There's stuff like that in the hospital. The way you worded it, it reminded me of ventilator pre-checks. So you guys know what a ventilator is. I talk about them all the time. But if you don't, a ventilator is basically the life-saving breathing machine where we shove a tube down into your lungs and take over. That was my job. That was my specialty, was running those machines, intubating, extubating, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that you do when a ventilator is not on a person. So, for instance, if I have extubated a person, I take off all that tubing, everything that is plugged into that big box or screen on a stick or whatever the fuck you have. It goes in the garbage, throw it all away, and then I'm gonna kill that fruit fly. And then it goes through like a self cleaning process on the inside, like an autoclaving process. So, if any moisture or whatever got on the inside, you change out some filters in the big main part of the machine. And then the computer part, there is a 30-minute pre-check that you do. However, no one knows if you didn't. And it's one of those things where I've known RTs in a hurry who have 7 ventilators they need to get set up for the next shift, and they won't run that pre-check. And there's no one on the next shift that knows they didn't run that pre-check. They know they didn't run that pre-check. That pre-check is very important. It goes through the entire computer of the life-saving fucking breathing machine that is now running your body that I have taken over. But because there's no checks and balances on a lot of the older ventilators, people just will skip it. And it's just like, sure, the vast majority of the time, that thing has gone through a pre-check probably 3 times a day its entire life. It's gonna be fine. It's fine. But, like, what if it wasn't? And I used to think about that a lot. Like, there were a lot of RTs where if we had downtime, we would just go to the storage rooms where we kept all the ventilators, and we would just run through pre-checks on every single ventilator just to make sure the next shift definitely guaranteed had at least 1 pre-check on all of them. And it's similar to that. It's like no one's there to say whether or not it's gonna work, and nothing's ever happened if someone skipped it, but, like, why? When you could it's just you press a button and leave. It's just a computer. It's basically like doing a little scan disk or whatever, you know? "Hi, Vile, how are you, love?" Old woman's face, you say, I mean, whatever's outside your house. Which is ironic because customer service people are trying to help you. I always thought about that. Isn't that the weirdest concept? Like, if you were anything like me when I worked a customer service desk, I would do everything in my power to help you as fast as possible because I want you to go away. I want to just stand at my desk and look pretty. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to work. Why the fuck would I do anything in my power to make it so you have to come stand with me longer? Ever. I am doing everything I physically can do without losing my job to make you go away, which is most of the time helping you. And yet the abuse is off. Oh my God. I think I've told this story before, but I don't know. Does anybody remember Kitty? I've told this. It's such an infamous, like, literally customer we had at Lowe's for years and years and years. She verbally, emotionally abused a few of my cashiers many, many times. And at one point, she had purchased so many items and not taken them home. She, like, left them to stay. She was a slumlord, so she'd just buy horrible products and then, like, complain about them and get all her money back. She came in with a stack of receipts, receipt paper, which is thin as fuck, like a stack held together. Comes up to customer service where my very outwardly presenting flamboyant gay cashier customer service associate is working, and they were my best, by the way. And she says, I want all of these items on these thousands of receipts from years of purchasing things and never taking them home on one receipt. That customer service associate was like, wow, that's impossible because every fiscal year we do inventory and those things have been billed out, et cetera, et cetera. She says, and I quote, please excuse my language, all right, faggot, then I want to return all of it and I'm never coming back. So my customer service associate stands there and literally manually keys in thousands, if not tens of thousands of item numbers. Oh my God, a fly. Tens of thousands of item numbers into our system to try to return all this stuff. Finally does it after an hour. One receipt that is miles long prints out. He folds it up all nicely, puts it with her paperwork, hands it to her, and says, all right, Kitty, have a nice day. She smiles, scoots it back across the desk, and says, now I want to buy it all back. And when I heard this from my cashier, I then went to her, escorted her out of the building, and said, absolutely not. You can't speak to my employees like this. The store manager then apologized to her for our behavior and took her to lunch. We didn't make money off this person. This is the type of person who would buy 10 gallons of like tar sealant for a driveway and then come back with all of the empty gallon cans and say it didn't work the way she liked, and we would give her her money back. We made zero money, which is why Lowe's is now in bankruptcy. It's just like that's the kind of shit I 7 years just like grinding my teeth through like, "Oh my fucking God, there's no winning here." But it gave me just like an unbelievable amount of patience when it comes to human beings. And then I went to work in hospitals where people are like, I want to kill you. I'm like, try, bitch. They let me restrain you here. I used to have to deal with you where I couldn't lock you down. Now I've got drugs and straps and help. Come at me, motherfucker. No, they were not fucking. No, not she. Oh man. I don't like to judge people by their outward appearance in any way, but it was like her personality seeped out of her. She looked like a dirty, wet rat. And she just like was dirty and wet and smelled and disgusting. Matted, gross hair in a very loose ponytail that probably never was taken out ever, just kind of was given a this once a week or something, like just a human cesspool of a person. And evil on the inside, it was coming out. Like that's all I can come up with cuz I don't think I would have noticed any of her physical traits had she been a sweet person. It's not hard to just be kind. No one cares what the fuck you look like if you make them feel nice after an experience with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, their entire job is to help you. That is what they're there for when you have a problem. Literally, customer service wouldn't exist if you just could read the fucking internet. Exhausted from yesterday, I had to run a Walgreens store and pharmacy inventory with just 3 people. 3 for what? Pharmacy? Wait. They have y'all do pharmacy inventory? This is why we have a problem. No offense. But what? The customer going to right. Yeah. Drugs and straps, you threaten us with a good time, dude. I'd take it. Sounds like a great nap to me. You know, I actually learned the history of that fucking saying, the customer is always right, and it is not what any of us think. Literally, I can't remember who initially coined it or said it, but the true meaning behind the customer is always right had nothing to do with the customer. It had to do with what they bought. That was it. So like the customer's always right really means look at your store. What are you selling out of? That's what you should be buying more of. Whatever the customer is currently buying is what's popular. Don't tell me what's popular. Don't try making other things popular. Just sell the shit they want. That's what it was. It did not mean customers have the right to treat us like human garbage in any way, shape, or form. But that's what people have turned it into because they're fucking pieces of shit. Cheers to not them. Cheers to all y'all who's either suffered customer service and or you're just a quality human who doesn't treat people like shit. Like, god damn it. Is it so hard just to have a non-experience, let alone a negative one? Thank you. The customer is always right in matters of taste. Thank you. That is the full quote. Yeah. It was like someone just happened to talk about it a little bit in one of my true crime podcasts or something I was listening to recently. And I was like, holy shit. This whole time we've been just chanted that as a way of saying, like, the customers can spit in your face. It's fine. If you say anything about it, we'll fire you. There's some movement from Walgreens workers to unionize because how bad they understaff their stores. Good. Dude, the amount that pharmacies probably make, and they have one person working that front register until 2 a.m. or whatever, however late they stay open, is fucking nauseating. And now that COVID vaccines cost people money, the fridge at the pharmacy had 90,000 at cost worth of COVID vaccines. That made my throat choke. What the fuck? Wow. It is. It's another bootstrap situation, exactly. I can't even remember what bootstrap doesn't mean anymore. I know what it means, but what was like, wasn't it like pull yourself up by your bootstraps? LZT and I talked about this one time and we were playing D&D or something like that. I can't even remember. Oh my god. You've unlocked a core memory. It's in there. Then we got gaslighted into thinking the customer got to be treated like God no matter what. Literally, that, yeah. I went to college for no other reason than to get away from the almighty customer. I didn't know that's why I was going to college, but that is 100% why I went to college. Yeah. Thousands of vials of Moderna and Pfizer that y'all, not pharmacists, are being forced to inventory and being forced to be reliable. Like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but putting that liability on you is kind of fucked up. Like, A medical professional who has worked in many, many ICUs, getting through a storage unit of a hospital's ICU is a nightmare, and I've worked in them forever. And I mean, in a hospital, I've worked at it for 5 years. I would walk into that inventory room and be like, "Oh god, where is the X blah, blah, blah amongst these 50 million item numbers?" Because then I have to find it, scan it in a computer, tell the computer the item number. Like, you have to do everything for everything you take out of that room. Like, I can't fathom doing it and not knowing what the fuck I'm even looking at. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at half the time because they put RT shit with everybody else's shit. So it's like half nurse stuff that I would never touch, like IV lines. Capitalism and greed are the drivers behind treating customers like gods. They retain their business and keep making money, not customers actually being right or worthy. Which, like, Viata, in your experience, is it similar to mine in that it does not result in making money? Customers who spend good money are not coming back and returning things and looking for things on sale and trying to dick the store and get coupons at all. People doing that are buying like the cheapest, dirty cheapest, lowest quality item ever that's probably broken already and is on some clearance shelf. Like those are like they're not the ones we're making literally a dollar on. Like for instance, the highest marked up items in your local hardware store are nuts and bolts, nails. Like sure, you look at it and you're like, "Yeah, but Katie, it's 7 cents a piece." Yeah, but it costs like a quarter penny to make. So then do the math, like, we are making bank on that kind of shit, and because it's so cheap, people buy tons of it, and you really do legitimately use tons of it, but that's where those kind of stores make their money. It's not on the John Deere. Like, we don't even get to mark up John Deeres. We sell them at cost, and you will never see a discount on a John Deere or a Husqvarna because they are sold at we make nothing. They are just pretty to get you in the store. They look nice on a show floor, essentially, and it's just like when people go, "Oh my god, what?" You're like, "Oh, how have you never worked retail? How have you did you not want a car when you were a kid? What happened?" It was a joke that people could never do it, physically, literally impossible. Walgreens' official statements on unions, quote, "Walgreens feels very strongly." Oh god, this is Walgreens' official statement. "Walgreens feels very strongly that labor unions do not serve the best interests of our individual employees or the company as a whole."
Boo! What? Idiots. What? Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. It's more fucked up that it costs that much. We know it didn't cost that much to make or is really valued at that price. It's a fucking heinous capital extraction. 100%. Yeah. I've gone through classes and certifications for pharmacy. I'm pretty experienced at it. Good. Rock, when she worked for the same company, also did pharmacy inventories as well. That's good, honestly. Like, again, I'm not implying that you couldn't do it, but I would not, like, for instance, if they did have different supply storage rooms in ICUs, i.e., they had one for nurses and they had one for RTs, if they even had that, and I was asked to go inventory the nurse one, I would say, go fuck yourself. Because I mean, it would say, and I'd be like, what is that? I don't fuck with IVs or whatever the thing is. I literally wouldn't know what it is to look for it, and I wouldn't trust myself to then report numbers on it. Like, I just don't think that's fair to the human to ask them to do that kind of shit, you know? Especially when it has to do with super expensive stuff or medicine because medical companies love suing and love making money and like you never want them on your bad side ever. I legit did third shift customer service during COVID for a company that sold a high demand product. Our CEO was one of the highest paid people in the country. We got a paper time clock as a thank you. We had received no financial support or incentive. When pay rate increase came around, we received only half of the rate of price increase. Wow, that person sounds like a piece of shit. As a matter of taste, that was a hard lesson to learn for me since if a customer goes to buy something they don't need or won't work, you still have to get them to buy it as per the corporate policy. No shit, they tried to get me to like I don't even know how to word it. They tried to get me as a head cashier and I worked in the cash office. I kind of like worked all over the Lowe's at a certain point. I worked there for 7 years while I was in college. But at a certain point, I'd worked so many places, they tried to get me to be the person that pushes credit cards. I don't even know what you would call that person, but essentially they wanted me to go around with stacks of credit card applications to all the cashiers and like peer pressure cashiers into being super annoying to every single customer until they had X amount of credit card signups every single day to upsell. Yeah, whatever that is. And that was one of the most fuck no's I've ever given anybody. I was like, oh God, fuck no. If someone asks me for one legitimately, sure, but fuck no. What? I couldn't sleep at night. I never forgot some of the customers that would come in. I mean, just to give an example, one very specifically, but this is a generalized experience that happened many times. It would be parents would come in with their newly 18-year-old child and just openly sit there and chit chat about how their credit's horrific and how they've ruined their own credit. And they're so happy their son's 18 so they can go get this Husqvarna fucking tractor, whatever, whatever, to mow their lawn, which is, they're just going to go fuck this baby's credit. Baby, this happened so many times, just color code it, new faces, new people, over and over. And like that shit is soul destroying watching that happen. If any of you have had kind of shit parents that decide to steal money from you, that hurts and it never, ever, ever, ever heals. That is a weird level of betrayal that once you see it, oh, you're ruined inside. Not speaking from personal experience. It is a weirdly, betrayal doesn't cover it. It's something like watching an animal eat its baby for no reason. It's like, it's viscerally ruins a part of you that was supposed to trust humanity, I think. You're just like, what the fuck? We keep extensive notes about bad customer behavior. Any business that you have to check in, or have an account for, trust that there are notes about your behavior attached to your account. There should be. Do you remember that episode of Black Mirror where you could like rate people on your phone? That was fucked up. But sometimes there's a part of me that's like, oh, some people need a rating system because Jesus Christ. So if you walk in and folks are coldest to you, it's because we read your notes and you're an asshole. I mean, if you notice people, I feel like assholes wouldn't notice someone being cold to them. Like, if anything, it would just justify what the behavior that they were trying to see in their own head, anyways, Husqvarna is really, really good shit, but it's a literal, like, upwards of $5,000 lawnmower that has tractor attachments. All I'm saying is it's super excessive if you live on a quarter acre and your yard is smaller than my asshole. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go get a little push mower and not destroy your kid's future, but these people, in America at least, your credit score, it's really hard to explain, but essentially, the moment you turn 18, you have a terrible credit score. Credit score can be anywhere from, like, I think it can be at 0, I don't even know, you die, whatever. It can be at 0, but all the way up to 800. I think it starts around, like, 450, 500, and the way you raise your credit score is putting yourself in debt. Like, and if you have a terrible credit score, you can't buy anything in the country at all. Even if you have the cash to buy it, they will do a credit check and be like, we don't want to do business with you. You don't have credit. So you have to fuck yourself to prove you will fuck yourself, but unfuck yourself as well. It is fucked. So most people spend most of their adult life just trying to maintain a credit score that means like, please give me a phone. You literally couldn't have a cell phone plan in America if you had no to bad credit. Cell phone plans will tell you no because they don't want you haven't proven yourself debt worthy or whatever. It's crazy fucked up. But just, I'm trying to think of a different way to word it, but really there is no way to word it. You start out shit, and if you don't put yourself in debt, no one will let you put yourself in debt. And if your bank gets hit for a charge and there's no money, then they charge you money as a penalty for not having any money forever. I blacked out a little bit. It's wild. It's a really fucked up system. It's not right, and I'm not justifying it. It's fucked up. It's just a fact of our life that we have to buy into if you don't just straight up have a ton of money to blow on like a $50,000 car or a down payment on a house, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you literally, if you have to have a loan, you have to have something. And when you have zero credit, there are companies out there that love to prey on people with zero credit, and they will offer you credit of some sort, but your interest rate, i.e., what they charge you for giving you that money, is astronomical. So, for instance, right now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the housing interest rate is upwards of like 9%. I think it's the highest it's been in almost my lifetime. It's insanely high. If it's not higher than that right now, it's crazy high, which means whatever that house costs, you're gonna pay that interest on top of it, and then the bank loan interest, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like if you bought a house, for instance, for 400,000, you're gonna pay upwards of 700,000 for that house in total if you can't pay it immediately. Wild, wild. But if you've never paid off anything in your life, then no one will really give you a loan for a house because they don't trust you to pay it off. So you kind of have to start your debts low. It's wild. Unless you get your student debt and then you're just fucked forever. You must qualify for them to take advantage of you. They want to make money from you. Exactly. And you get punished and there's like a whole it's so fucked up. I know this is super uninteresting, but it's crazy fucked up and I think about it too much. There's like an entire system to your credit score. So once you have now efficiently put yourself in debt, there's like a science to it where they want you to maintain a debt a little bit around like 23 to 27% of the available debt available to you. So for instance, if you have 3 credit cards and they're each a $2,000 limit, they want you to have about 23 to 27%, depending on the credit bureau, et cetera, used up on all those credit cards at any given time. But they want you to be paying it off and using it constantly. They don't want like one big purchase paid off, one big purchase. They like this like rotating, they want to see it used, but they also want it really old. Now, for instance, my mom helped me sign up for a credit card with her bank when I was 18 years old, cut up the credit card and everything, but it was literally just to establish a credit card because she was aware of this credit thing. And she was like, it exists now. So now when you want to buy something in your 30s or whatever, a house, ha 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 ha, cute ideas, then you have an established credit age because that matters. So like even if you're just rich now and you went and got a bunch of debt and then paid it off immediately, you would have a better credit score had you put yourself into debt at 18, fucked yourself and slowly paid it off until today. Because credit age matters. It's wild. It's built to fuck us. Oh, 865, if I can believe, is like the highest. My biggest mistake wasn't being born rich, dude. But then you'd be an asshole. A fan member took out CC, oh God, in my name when I was a kid. Since they had all the info, I only learned about it when I went out for my first car loan. I used to be salty about it but they're dead now and some other stupid shit they did, so I consider us even. Karma Police doing their job on that one, right? I mean, what else can you do but be mad? Especially when it comes to that, like if the money's gone, it's gone. What are you gonna do? Being mad like doesn't fix your credit score, and you have to have something to do anything in this country. It's just fucked. You're forced to go into debt and then are rated and judged by how well you pay off that debt and how well you continue to use it. Like they don't want you to have empty credit cards. And then that was the other thing. So there's some credit bureaus, credit cards. They're not they're part of bigger bureaus like, Experian or whatever. But there's credit cards. For instance, like if you have a credit card through a retail store, like a Macy's card or a Nordstrom's card, not a Nordstrom's debit or a Nordstrom's Visa, like just a Nordstrom's card. It doesn't matter if it's at 0 balance or if you have charged $5,000 to it. It will that fruit I'm gonna kill you. That credit card reports you as using 100% of your balance. So, if you have one of those cards and you have ever used it, it has hit your credit report hard. They fuck you. They don't report like, "Oh, she's using $500 out of $3,000 or whatever." It's like if there's $1 on it, it's 100% and your credit report goes, "We only want you to use 23 to 77%. We can't have this." So all of any card like that, like a retail store card, will fuck your credit report. Just hard. You have to like pay it off the day you use it if not. A bunch of people didn't get paid yesterday due to processing error. I wonder if they'll waive fees. Cute. I love that we're all laughing. The FICO score was first introduced in 1989. Oh, good. I wasn't born into it. That's nice. Legal name Fair Isaac Corporation. I had no idea that's what it stood for. I've just learned today. I've never even thought to look it up. Originally, Fair Isaac Company is a data analytics company based in Bozeman, Montana. Fuck 'em. Focused on credit score servicing. It was founded by Bill Fair and Earl Isaac in 1956. Its FICO score, again, the Fair Isaac Corporation, crazy, had no idea. A measure of consumer credit risk has become a fixture of consumer lending in the United States. Fucked. Easiest way I've found to get a good credit score, go get a secured credit card, which means the limit is however much you put in as a deposit, which you can get back. That's kinda I've never even heard of this before, Serm. So so it acts kinda like a debit card, which you can get back when you close the card. I did this with no credit history and had a 740 credit score within a year. Just don't use more than 30% of your credit limit. Yeah, it's like over 30% is a general rule, right? And don't spend more than you can spend in cash. That's I mean, I've heard that is that oh god, someone else said it in chat. There's cards like that nowadays. They're like essentially a debit card, but they function like I'm gonna get it. They function like they actually service your credit report, whatever. When I was a kid, my parents taught me that any apartment I rent, this was back in the day of landlines and such, but I guess it still exists for like TV and internet. But they would tell me like, doesn't matter if you have a roommate, put all the bills in your name. All the bills in your name, like you're living in the shittiest apartment ever outside your college, like the bills literally can't be unpayable. We'll help you if that person fucks you, but put all of them in your name because bills like electric and water, like utilities, help your credit score, right? Something like that. I truly think that's the only reason I wasn't fucked because I did not put myself in debt and then suddenly I was slammed with my credit, my student loans, and that was bad. That is, whoa. That's another thing that can fuck your credit report that's super fun. So, for instance, if you have student loans, they don't do anything good for your credit report, but if you're ever one moment late on a payment on your student loans, they can hit you with all of the interest from all of the years you never made a late payment ever, and then they slam your credit report on top of it. It's crazy. I don't have any hairspray. I know, I was looking for some. I'm just gonna smoke it away. Smoke the pain away. You're lucky, Trouble. Let's be clear, right, Dead Cal? I was gonna say most Americans get a credit card because they literally don't have any money and they need food for them and their family, or they have like a broken down car and they literally have to fix their car right now. That's the reason I think most people absolutely end up getting a credit card. Like, not a lot of people have a parent that's like, let's open one, cut it up, and not talk about it. So your credit score. I was lucky. My mom thought about I don't even know. Neither of my parents are financial people, but they did that when I was younger, and I'm grateful to it. Never used that card. It just exists, but now I have like a, you know, an X amount of years old credit card. We're not going to talk about ages. The talking, though. Talking's great, but less. Good morning, Bolfy. How are you, love? And the really fucked up part, those credit bureaus sell your information for profit. Yeah, which is wild. I don't even, how long has that been going on? No shit file, no credit, but you probably like have your name on bills and shit because you have an apartment, stuff like that. Like that also assists paying off a car, paying off a large item that you had to finance. Like you might not have a credit card, but if you've ever financed anything, I actually think paying rent on an apartment does help your credit score in a certain way, doesn't it? A lot of things like that do. Be careful with secured credit cards. Some companies will not give you a grace period and will assess interest on the balance from this date of purchase. So read the small print. Are those what they're called? The ones from like retail stores? I learned that about like a Macy's card, a Buckle card, whatever, an American Eagle card, not the American Eagle Visa. It doesn't have Visa on it, but you know what I'm saying? Like just those ones that were just through a department store. I think it was very similar. It was like whatever you use on it, they report as 100% of the card's balance. So you're always getting hit with a 100% used card. Rent does not build credit history. Okay, just kidding. It's been a while. Secured credit card. Get an education, but also have experience, or we won't hire you. This is an entry level job with entry level pay, but we require 7 years of experience. What? Do they even know? Should we tell them they sound fucking idiotic? I found out about credit secured cards when I was declined for a credit card that was advertised to build credit because I didn't have any credit history. It's such a fucked system. It's like you should be rewarded for having never put yourself in debt. Like that, good for you. You've literally never had to finance anything or put yourself in debt for literally anything. You've done a great job. But no, you want to get a cell phone plan? You got to go fuck yourself a little bit. It's crazy. I must now venture into town and eat food. I hope the food is delicious. I mean, I can't force it upon you, but if you would like to come by tomorrow, which is Sunday, I would super like to annoyingly sing happy birthday as you. Happy birthday. Welcome to the middles. My secured credit cards through my bank, not some random credit card company. Those are so weird. The amount of like random ass credit bureaus on the internet these days that I see like as ads and shit up the sides of whatever. It's like back in the day when we used to get legitimate credit cards in the mail. Like it just feels kind of like that. Like how is this okay? Anybody can fill out a fucking form online. Oh, I fucking love good Greek food. Fuck yes. I think rent should be. I mean, if anything, maintaining a roof over your head consistently on time, like doing that responsibly, should mean more than putting yourself in debt. Right? Like, goddamn, you don't get any of that money back, and really, you don't get anything from it. You're literally just throwing money at another human so you can live on their property. And you did it consistently and reliably, and there were no complaints. Like, that should mean a lot. Right? I don't know. Who am I? Poor. We're poors. We don't mean anything. Fruit fly. My favorite is the job asking for X amount of years with certain software, and certain software isn't even X years old. Shut the fuck up. They have to know how dumb that is, right? I had the cash in hand for a secured credit card, was rejected because of my bad credit, dude. It's what the fuck? I mean, all right. What the fuck? Fuck cell phone plans. That shit is way too expensive. I just use track phone for like 20 bucks a month. Dude, I found out about Google Fi ages ago. And while it's not like the most indie obscure of phones, like holy shit, listening to what my parents pay still using like I think they're still on AT&T or something because they're out in the fucking boonies where they don't literally have access to internet, so they have to have little AT&T internet thingies all over their house, little pods, whatever, to literally have any internet. So, I think they're stuck, but just the phone plan is over $200 a month for like 2 iPhones. And I just puke in my mouth because that used to be acceptable to me. Like that was normal. I remember when most of us kids were at home and my mom was paying like $500 a month for a fucking cell phone bill. Like there was this moment where a lot of the kids were still living at home and we all had cars. So my mom got us all Nokia bricks so we didn't die in the woods and not have a way to find her, which was hilarious because there was no reception anyways. Um, oh my God. And now it's like if I never leave my house, my phone bill cannot be over like $40. I think it's even cheaper. It's like what is it? Base like $27, I think. Literally just to have the plan. It's just crazy what I used to think was just like normal for having a phone, cell phone. Crazy. What up, Johnny boy? Still living. Ooh, fuzz perfect. What's gonna happen when the entire middle class falls this short drop into poverty, dude? They'll blame us for it. It's all that avocado toast and the fact that we don't have kids and we didn't buy houses that we can't afford. We didn't buy into the whole, "Oh, I'm gonna put myself in existential debt and just pass it on to my children because A, I don't have children and I don't want the debt. B, my fault, I guess, right? I still have never had avocado toast for fuck's sake. Some store cards will apply interest at the same time of purchase. Wow. But it depends on the store's policy. Just make sure you take the application home and actually read and bring it back. 100%. I mean, if you're at a department store, like a clothing department store, I don't think there's ever an emergency. Maybe, unless it's like I was gonna say there's no emergency for a credit card. However, understand some people get an interview and they're like, "Fuck, I have no nice clothes." Been there, done that, and you need to go to the interview immediately. Go get yourself some fucking interview clothes. Um, but I would suggest a thrift store. You can get the same shit for so cheap. I found a Burberry fucking smoking jacket for Zach for like $30. I looked it up online. It was like retail $450, and it was still the tags. Crazy. Yeah, those family plans that you could add to 4 lines to. Yep. And they'd be like, add another line for free. Get 2 new free phones. So think about how fucked up this is. Oh, I do all the time. It haunts me. My flip phone as a teenager was like $10 a month for unlimited calls, and that's it. I mean, I'd never even had the flip phone. I had the brick that had barely even had Snake on it. I didn't even have texting at the time. I don't even know if it was available or if my parents just got us the cheapest phone. I think it wasn't available. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't want it, to be honest. I was like, I don't want another way for people to get a hold of me. Fuck this. That's why I didn't get a fucking pager. Like, the moment people could, like, text on pagers, I was like, absolutely not. My brothers all had them. No. I like being ungettable. It's great. It makes me feel all feral and weird. Like, I have my own peace of mind. Wild. Trouble, I don't know if Google Fi is what I use. If you've never heard of it before, Google Fi is crazy. It's like, if you already have a phone, you don't even need to buy a phone on their plan or anything. Like, they help you with a SIM card and whatever. But I signed up for it so long ago. It's like you pay, I think, around like $27 a month. And for just sitting in your house, if you have Wi-Fi and you never leave your house, 27 bucks a month will be your phone bill and it will never be higher. If you leave your house, there's one person on your phone plan, sorry if I'm a little off on this, it's been forever since I signed up for the plan. But if you have one person on your phone plan, you pay $10 per gig up to 6 gigs, and then you just have unlimited internet. If you have more than one person on the internet, you pay 10 gigs up to, you pay $10 up to 10 gigs, and then you have unlimited internet on your phone. So for instance, my phone bill can like never be over $127. And that's like if I internationally travels and am never on Wi-Fi, but I have never had a phone bill over $60 a month because there's Wi-Fi fucking everywhere. Go to Thailand, 7-Eleven has Wi-Fi. It's literally everywhere. And your phone, the cool thing about Google Fi, fruit fly, I'm gonna kill it. The cool thing about Google Fi is they have like a deal with every other cell phone, so they can use any cell phone tower. So you don't have to be near a Google Fi tower. If I go to Thailand, turn my phone on, and the best tower near me is owned by, I'm gonna murder you, T-Mobile, then my phone will jump to that tower. My phone will jump to whatever tower is being used the least and is the best optimal tower, whether whoever owns it. So I have like awesome reception everywhere, and it's international, meaning I can go anywhere in the world and my phone doesn't change what it does or what I'm charged in any way. That's the best. To be able to turn your phone on when you land in Singapore. Oh my god, and not be like, "Oh my god, if my phone accidentally turns on, I'm going to get a $700 bill and I don't know what to do." When I was in college, I remember I would literally have like piss my pants anxiety attack because I lived really close to the Canadian border. And if I got too close to the border of Canada with my phone just on, it would smack into this service called like Rogers. And my mom, I literally would get an immediate call from my mom, like, why is my bill $450? And I'm like, I don't know. I got lost on a back road. I'm so sorry. Please don't kill me. And now I can just like, turn my phone on literally anywhere and nothing happens. It's great. Amazing. Life has changed. I'm not that old, and that's very different. It's dog ass, but I enjoy it. Dude, if it works. Hamas has its own fiber internet. It can't hurt her in the US because Comcast, but yeah, well, yeah. I never had like the Razor. I never had a Razor, but I dated a guy with a Razor, and I think it was pretty fucking indestructible. Dude, I've never had a cell phone that fit in any pocket of mine ever. Who has a pocket that's gonna fit this? I mean, I'm pretty sure half the reason I have a case on it is because the amount of times I forget that my pockets just are made for fucking nothing, and I try to put it in my pocket and it falls on the ground. Like, isn't this pretty much the average size of most people's phones these days? Give or take a millimeter. Like, these have pretty good pockets and it doesn't fit. I couldn't zip it up. Who? I right? Men's pockets versus women's pockets when they exist. I've bought clothes before where I fuck you not. They put in the effort to sew in a fake pocket and cut off the pocket. Why can't you just, I mean, I know why, but like, what the fuck? Do you feel stupid? We now need crossbody bags to hold our phones. No shit. They're like little iPads. Dude, I had a weird moment the other night, Mishy. I don't know why I thought about it. Was I watching something that was like from a different time? I don't know what I was doing. Oh, I was taking a bath. It was when I was sick. Sorry, I'm still kind of sick and my brain doesn't work. I was taking a bath and like I have like one of those guys that like sits on your finger. So like, I wasn't too nervous, but I also have insurance, so it's fine. But I was just sitting in the bath like with my phone like this, just sick and disgusting and like scrolling Instagram or something. I don't know. Out of my mind, just, fever dreaming, like, And I had this moment of remembering taking baths as a child. I've always loved taking a bath. And when I was in high school, my parents built our house and put in a master full, like, huge one of those jacuzzi tub baths that obviously was for them to fuck in. But, like, I loved taking baths and I didn't realize it at the time. It was wonderful and huge. And it had jets and shit. And I would bring, like, this TV we had that it was like the screen was like this big, but it was a TV with a VCR built in. And I would like lug that 3 stories up the house into my parents' master bathroom and like prop it up on a chair, plug it into the wall, and put in like Fern Gully and take a bath, a bubble bath. And I just had this moment of like comparing. That wasn't that long ago. And that was your option, unless you were rich and had a DVD player and DVDs. Which no. But like that was, and it's not that long ago. And now I'm just sitting here with like this machine that I complain about how expensive it is, but really it's replaced my whole bookshelf, all the encyclopedias my parents bought from that door-to-door salesman, the DVD player, the VHS player, the TV, my house phone, my computer. You know? It's kind of wild. Well, we all just kind of like fucking carry around all the time. We kind of have no excuse to act like dumb fucks anymore. Back in the day, it's like, hold on, I gotta go get the encyclopedia. But now I can just be like, how do you spell smorgasbord? Look, I said it so fucking wrong, and my phone not only spelt it for me, it's talking to me and telling me how to pronounce it, because obviously I pronounce it like a stupid American. Like, there's nothing you can't do. Learn a language. Like, get a degree. It's fucking. I literally got one of my degrees on my phone. It's wild. Wild. Crossbody bags. Honestly, I had to stop using them. I think, but not because of the crossbody bags. High school, the one shoulder sling of the super heavy backpack hanging on your lower back. I think I ruined my body. Like, one side of my ribs is like a little bit like this. I think it's this side. I'm not even, and I think it's from so many years of just like, I think our book bags weighed upwards of 50 to 70 pounds sometimes. They were insane. The amount of books that were literally in that JanSport that I fucking strung those straps out, had over one shoulder, and like limped to school every day and to the bus and whatnot. I think I ruined myself because crossbody bags, I can't get comfortable. They like hurt me. It's terrible. 2 straps. Looks at the wind advisory alert on his phone, listens to the thunder. Maybe I'll skip my walk today. Bring an umbrella. Well, you might get lightninged. Just kidding. We used to go jump in the wind with umbrellas and pretend we were Mary Poppins. And by used to, I mean, a couple weeks ago. As a man, never had an issue with pockets and phones. Used to literally carry 10 pounds of crap in my pockets. Utility, what are they called? Not utility shorts. Cargo shorts are amazing. I am so jealous of cargo shorts. It's like a backpack on your legs. It's incredible. I bought a suit where the side pockets on the coat were fake. Like, actually fake. I was all butthurt for a moment. Then my girlfriend said, "Welcome to our world." I literally, no shit. Zach can't even mutter a comment about a pocket in this house without me. It's just like mind bullets. Not a word. If he, like, even this pocket. What about a pocket? Bitch. It's something, I just want a pocket. I hate holding shit in my hands, and I don't want to carry a purse. I think it's a gimmick. And it just drives me crazy. All the time. Even out with a backpack on the other shoulder for a couple years, I have nothing. I mean, who the fuck? They just carry an iPad these days. Sugar, just fucking tired. That's about it, though. The modern equivalent of the Library of Alexandria in your hands. Mm-hmm. If not more. Like, it's just pretty crazy what we have the access to, and you don't even have to type into it. You can just yell at it. You can yell at it badly. That is just the best to me, because have always and still am. Spell check has actually helped me a lot because I remember how spell check corrects me because I get offended by it. But like, I've always been a terrible speller. I feel like I have a really good like personal vocabulary slash lexicon in my head, and I know the definitions to words because I read a lot. But spelling a lot of words that I don't necessarily write or think about a lot has always been a really fucking big struggle for me. And I feel like I can so clearly remember the anxiety of someone being like, "Go grab the encyclopedia and look up blank," and my brain was like, "How do you spell that?" But I couldn't ask because the shame of asking how to spell something I should have definitely been able to spell. You know what I'm saying? Because then you had to flip through that fucking encyclopedia, and if you didn't know how to spell it, you couldn't get there fast at all. It was just it was a torturous experience. The shame of that. But you don't need to even know how to spell. You can just shout sounds, just like if I screamed at my phone, it would probably answer me. You know what I'm saying? Kids today in their school issued iPads will never know the back pain. We walked so you could run. Dude. We. Yes, master! So you can. What's that? Are you looking at. Are we talking in person? Yeah. I feel a lot like. What have I done? Am I shriveling? Is it happening? Is this my strong hand now? They're ugly and not as useful as you might think. I've never been one to think about, like, if it's cute, if it's functional. If it's functional, I shove this boxy piece of shit in my titties all the time and don't really think like, wow, that did something weird to my body shape. I'm just like, now it's not in my hands. Woo! Look at all the activities I can do. You know what I'm saying? I just get way too excited about the freedom. Does the Duster have pockets, though? Polly want a pocket? Yes. Sweet Gloria's somewhat decent internet. Oh, I have missed you. Now I can finally blank my online buddies in at least 7020p, 3 monitors, online gaming with friends. We've been apart for that long. Thank you, Job, for putting me in a better hotel with decent internet. Dude, heaven? Lightning is no joke. No, as a child, I literally used to go swim in the lake we lived on when it was lightning and like storming outside because the waves would get really big and it was super awesome. But thinking back on it, I should be dead. Fucking idiots. Moron. Backpack on only one shoulder was the style when I was in school. So dumb. Glad the kids are smarter now. It was like I remember seeing both. I was a one shoulder. I don't know why. I think I just did it. I think I just wanted to be able to get that fucking backpack off of me as fast as possible for some reason. I don't know. But there was also the style where people would just like extend the strap as long as it physically could fucking go. So their bag, but they'd have it on both shoulders, but their bag was bouncing off of their quintessential taint. Do you remember that? Like, what was that? Was that what was happening? Dude, we were just talking about how fucking useful our phones are. Do you remember back in the day, like, if someone just wanted to know something or you were doing a research paper, you would not only need a set of encyclopedias that were from the last decade, but you'd also, like, need to know how to spell that thing? And I was just saying, like, nowadays you can literally just, like, scream another language into this little square in your hand, and it will just, like, tell you the history of a word that maybe you said and how to spell it and how to pronounce it, etcetera, etcetera, etcetera. It's just crazy how much we have, like, at our disposal. And to tack onto that, libraries, which are fucking phenomenal. Maybe the sheer weight of my backpack caused me to stop growing, and that's why I'm short. Can't I swear my backpack was literally like 70 pounds and I'm 6 feet tall. We can't do that. Unless maybe your spine literally crushed under the weight. Can that happen? Dusters have a shit ton of pockets. Jelly. Boxy titties. Or uniboob. You get that a lot, but like, what else are you supposed to do? I don't want to carry that shit around because chances are, like, I have a really bad habit of forgetting something is in my hand if I'm not actively using that thing. And within like 30 seconds, my hand will just go limp and I will drop whatever is in my hand because my brain is not like, why is that there? I didn't even know it was there anymore. So I just don't want things in my hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they fucked with all of our bodies. I've looked at myself in the nude, big shock, and my ribs are not even. Right here. I can tell my spine does a little sway to one side, and I'm like, what have I done? That's the only time I was super lopsided for a really long period of time. And like my school was, I think a lot of kids did this same thing, but I think I went to my assigned locker on the first day of school and the last day of school, literally. And then I just had everything I ever needed in my enormous JanSport backpack that was now 70 pounds. And that was the only way to get from class to class because there was no fucking way to get down all the stairs, get to your locker, and get back to the next class in 3 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever the fuck they give you. And pointless. Yeah, I'll just break my back. I was young. I didn't feel pain. I did puzzles. A cross? Ow. I finally finished building my retaining wall with landscapers that the landscapers told me would cost 50K. I remember that, and I did it for less than 5. Dude, that has to be a fucking I have like a very sad little taste sometimes of that feeling, I think, every time I fix something that has to do with plumbing in my house. And the only reason I even feel in any way, shape, or form comfortable going under a sink or something is because my stepdad's literally a plumber and underwater welder and shit, and he gave us lots of lessons and lots of knowledge as children. And every time I get into like my garbage disposal or something, or I fix a leak, I just get this like, I could live on an island deserted. I'll survive. I'll fucking make a knife out of my own toes. Let's go. I'm fucking. Come at me, motherfuckers. Let's go. I am mammal. Hear me heat. Is today the 5th? Nope, tomorrow. V for Vendetta is such a good movie. Remember the 5th of November. Please watch V for Vendetta. It's a great movie. I forgot my water in the kitchen. I want to go get my water and then we'll play some BioShock. I want to finish it. I don't even know what time it is, but I do. Like, I just want to get into there's 2 other games. 3? I wish. I long for the days of couch co-play, soda and chips, punching that one friend when the play was Odd Job and Goldeneye. We haven't forgotten that night, fucker. Dude, you were one of those people who had a couch close enough to the TV to actually sit on the couch. You spoiled motherfucker. I have the exact same memories, but it's sitting crisscross applesauce, 2 feet from a TV, sitting in some sort of armoire or like wood-looking structure that your mom bought because she doesn't want to see all the electronics in it. So, like, had all the little cupboards and shit where your 64 was and your Nintendo and your Super Nintendo and your Sega and your etc., your Dreamcast, whatever. But they, like, were shut, so you'd have to, like, crawl in the back of the TV, switch out the auxiliary and whatever cable to whatever system you were trying to use that time, and then sit there and figure out, like, okay, which source, because HDMI wasn't a thing, or I wasn't rich enough to have HDMI. When did HDMI get invented? I don't even know. Like, you had to figure out which AUX, whatever, setting on the TV, and then you'd sit on the ground, and you'd, like, I just remember being existentially uncomfortable, and I'd start crisscross, and then I would shift from hip to hip, and lay on my side, and then on my back, and then on my stomach, and then on my knees, and then, like, usually within an hour, I had to get the fuck up and do something else because I was so stir crazy. But I never knew anyone that had a couch close enough to the TV or a TV good enough to see anything from that far away. Never had anything in my locker, never used it, just carried a 50-pound backpack, tennis bag, guitar, and amp and pedals everywhere, every day back then. Yup. Mine was that backpack and then my duffel for whatever sport was active at that moment because I was that person. It was a long 3-month process, but fuck 50K. Dude, if you think about it, so what it cost you 5K. So in 3 months, you just made girl math. See, I could do TikTok. I hate it. Hate myself. It's fine. You can hate me too. You just made 45K in 3 months. I've never had a job that did that. I have never made 45K in 3 months. I'm proud. That's phenomenal. Hugo Weaving is fantastic. I'd listen to him do anything. The timing, Vex, I mean, I watch that movie at least a couple times a year, if not more. It's just so well done, and Hugo Weaving's, like, narrating and all of the, monologues. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering that word for some reason. All of his monologues are just phenomenal. I just like his voice. Like, he just has one of those voices that are very pleasing to the ear, and he does such a fucking good job. Like, I oftentimes forget that little one's in it. What's her Padme's? What's her name? Oh God, what's her name? N- Natalie Portman. Jesus fuck Portman. Thank you. Yeah, my brain went immediately Naomi Campbell. Natalie Portman. I hate it. If my brain like decides to pick the wrong name, even though I know it's wrong, it'll just start obsessing. Like, no, that's it. No, it's not. Shut up. Halo Couch Co-op, we just moved the couch closer. Dude, we would always we lived like all the kids like congregated lived in the basement. And so we would get the hand-me-down furniture, which meant the really old wood furniture, and my mom would get so mad if we moved it. I'm like, "Dude, this is literally the furniture you can't break. Trust me, we've tried." Dude, unlocking core memories is the best. Like the sitting and rolling back and forth because I could never get comfortable playing Zelda or whatever the fuck it was. Very rarely did I not have a couch that close. No shit. Did I have a couch that close? Excuse me. I was either sitting cross-legged or you sat on your crates or something. Yeah, or a pillow, grab or a cushion of the couch. We did that a lot. Like my sister would literally pull a couch cushion off and we would both sit on it on the ground just to save your butt cheeks. Yeah. Evie, that's her in-movie name, yeah. The middle school, high school I went to just got rid of the majority of their lockers because kids don't use books anymore. They won't know what locker hangout is anymore. I never had locker hangover. Hangover, hangout. I've never ever had that. I guess maybe in the like the locker room that we changed for sports. Dude. Okay, that looks phenomenal. I'm trying to think of a way to not make it weird, but like the imagery is doing things. That looks fucking perfect. Like it's so fucking straight. It lines up so nice. It gives my brain a nice little pet like velvet on it. That's my dream. It's my plan in my yard next year. It's gonna be a lot, but yeah, that looks phenomenal. That looks real good, dude. Was the leveling just a nightmare? Middle school and high school. Wait. I never had a LAN party, but small town. There was literally like 3 gamers in the whole town, and we all didn't know about each other because we kept it a secret because we thought we'd get beat up. I didn't know any gamers, so I was in college, and I mean, we all lived in the same dorm, so like a LAN party seems superfluous. You know, we just opened our dorm room doors and screamed down the hall. We had an old beat up couch near a TV. Dude, we had the above garage bonus room as well, but it was off limits to the girls. And as a young child, I was infuriated. I was like, "You built a rec room above the garage where now all my brothers have taken the TV from the basement and all of the gaming systems and all the games and all the good movies, and I'm not allowed up there? What the fuck?" They were jerking off. My brothers were all older than me. They were just jerking. My mom was trying to give them a place to just like jerk off. I didn't know. I used to go up there all the time, and I never knew why my brothers got so fucking mad. They were all snuggled on the couch in this giant quilt, and they changed the channel really quick, and I was like, "Why are you mad? I just want to play Zelda." Being a little sister's tough, man. Like, things just don't click for a bit. You just you just accept you annoy everyone in the room no matter what you do and just go about your day because there's nothing else to be done. you know, because no one's gonna be like, that's for them to jerk off. Please leave the males alone. You know what I'm saying? But until they moved out, I lost all my gaming shit for a long time. Horrible to level. Yeah, leveling is my nightmare right now with my yard. I hate it so much. I've put so much fucking sand and wood chips and rocks in my yard trying to just get the ground to stop sinking, the mud. Oh. LAN party on the comp, Sci PC lab, Command and Conquer Good Times. We definitely did that. We literally would like take over one of the engineering labs because they were just if you were an engineering major, you had the code to get into the building, and half my friends were CS or engineering majors, so we just take over the lab at nighttime and play WoW or something like that. I guess if that's a LAN party, we definitely did that because you could get Jimmy John's delivered to the campus. It was great. Dude, Bloodywood's amazing. I think Gled actually introduced me to Bloodywood ages ago. They're phenomenal. Yeah, they have such a good sound. Like, there's no perfect band in the world. I don't jive with everything, but they have really good, decent, good music. I don't know. I dig it too. I think Gled introduced me to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gled. My core memory playing Magic the Gathering on the playground concrete. I have that core memory, but Pogs. Pogs for some, and I was like first or second grade. But I very clearly remember my elementary school started supplying little cubes of carpet. And at recess, you could run up to this recess lady and she would give you a little cube of carpet and it was for you to sit on the ground and play Pogs. They didn't supply the Pogs, obviously, but Pogs were, if you don't remember Pogs, I'm so sorry. We just all aged ourselves terribly. Pogs were a really big deal. And they didn't supply the Pogs, but they gave us little, what the fuck? Here's your little carpets for your Pogs. I remember that. Weird. That was a while ago. It's crazy to think that gamers were an outcast population not too long ago. It is so weird. I don't feel like I'm like back in my day kind of age yet. But when I think about memories like that I'm very, very like this is a crazy one. For instance, I dated the same person for my junior and senior year of high school consistently. And that amount of days, hours, time, and years for two horny teenagers to monogamize and spend pretty much every single day after school together until like 10 o'clock at night when I had to go home because of my curfew. I'm gonna kill that little bug. That's a lot of fucking time. That's not 2 adult years. That is so many fucking time. That's so much time. And I did not know until we broke up that he played WoW every single night the moment I left his house until he had to go to school in the morning and literally just napped during class all day. I just thought he was always existentially tired, but he was like a hardcore World of Warcraft raider. And I found out like weeks before I went off to college and we broke up because he left his login screen open. And I don't even know what it looks like anymore, but it used to be like, I think it was like two pillars with fire on them and like maybe an archway or something like that, like a door. I don't even know. But I remember seeing it and I didn't even know what World of Warcraft was, but I was like, that's a video game. That is so much time to be with someone and have no fucking idea because the likelihood of him getting the living shit beat out of him or being ostracized or whatever by a town mostly made of jocks and hunters was so high. It was a complete everybody. And I was going home at night and playing Fable and Halo on my little Xbox secretly. I'm not telling anyone. Like the amount of things we all secretly had in common, but we were so fucking scared because it was such a like it said a lot about you, unfortunately, to people. It didn't say, "Oh, they like games." It said whatever the fuck. I don't even know. What did people think about us back then? Were they blaming like school shootings on us or something? There was satanic panic with like D&D and shit like that. But then video games, what was the thing? Why did they hate them? Why were we hated for them? And comic books. Like comic books were literally not allowed to be kept on any bookshelf in the house because they were lowbrow. And now I proudly display all my comic books and like all of my D&D manuals, et cetera, because I think they're awesome. Like it's just such a weird world. And it has not, I don't know when the change happened or why that was even going on. Was it Burning Crusade? That one then. There you go. What up, Zelda Love? I know, I was just about to take a break and go get my water, and I just kept talking, but I should. Thank you. This is my juice. Was it causing violence? Was that all it was? Tipper Gore had a wild hair up her ass against video games causing violence. Was that it? That's so fucking. I played video games. You know what all my brothers that didn't like video games did? They fucking liked guns. What? Because of GTA and Hollow, Katie, Halo, we were blamed for school shootings and bullying because of violence. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. Couldn't even remember. I don't even know if my mom's ever said why she hates video games. She's just always told us she hated them. Religion, fear mongering. Okay, yeah. Weird. I completely forgot. That is some core memory shit. I just forgot why. I just know it was a weird thing. It was like, if you're gonna play video games, do it on your own time. Don't tell anyone about it. It wasn't a box you could check as a hobby. You know? I don't even know what I would have said. It's just like, I don't know. I would play dumb. None of my friends were gamers, and the few times I mentioned it, I got looks. And to make it worse, I was a PC gamer. Wait, what? Yep. Same. I remember I knew how to get the fuck out of my computer real fast if someone like came over to my house because no phones or whatever, just to like see if I wanted to play or hang out, just so they knew I wasn't playing Rayman. Fucking stupid. It's weird and creative. Ban it. I know. We don't understand it immediately right off the base by the face value. It's the devil. And now I have a day to play games with my kids. You know, I wish I would have had that with my parents. My parents finally started getting into like Wii gaming at least when I moved out. My sister got those years with them though. Dude, hard same, Kel. We were talking about that earlier. Like, one of the main reasons I've never felt comfortable around any form of law enforcement is because they have a murder weapon on their hip, and I don't feel good around that at all. And I fucking love me some shoot 'em up games. They're fun as fuck. But in no way, shape, or form have they incited me to go buy any. Like, I didn't play Zelda and then suddenly go get a sword, you know? Or I didn't start, like, jumping down drain pipes as a child and eating all the mushrooms I found. I didn't throw barrels at people and exclusively eat bananas. Like, there are so many things that are in video games that don't involve guns that I have played so much more of, and I have yet to go into the real world and search for said thing. I think the only thing I've gone into the real world and tried to find that I find in video games is, like, friendship and just, like, some people to jive with, maybe in those video games later. That's it. Weird. I didn't go search for a Rainbow Road. All because the Columbine shooters had Doom on their PCs, right? I mean, that was another. I kind of had all of it going for me bad, all the stigmas, because not only did I secretly play video games, like no one socially at my school knew, but like my parents knew we had video game systems and stuff, obviously. Like, how the fuck would I have got them? But not only that, I like dressed goth. I wore band tees that I found at Hot Topic because where else the fuck do you find them? And they're always black. Goth, that and jeans, I guess, was goth, whatever. I didn't even know what that word meant when I started getting called that, but I had that going for me, and I liked listening to things like Nine Inch Nails and Tool and Marilyn Manson because I like a variety of music, and my parents unfortunately raised us on country. So, like, once I found out, oh my God, there's more than country, I was like, holy shit, give it to me. So, like, all of that piled on top of me, I was like, I can't let anyone know I play video games. They're straight up gonna think I'm gonna shoot up the school, and I just want to leave this town really fast. Like, please, please, why? But all of that at the point when I was going to school was like indicators that I was going to turn out to be a shooter or something absurd. I didn't say I didn't run inside people's houses and smash their vases and all their pottery. I didn't say that. Whenever I mentioned to people that I was into video games, I got the stupid, "Oh, you're a girl and you can't game," or "You're a gamer." Same. I remember when Halo came out. I don't remember, was I don't, it's been a while. I don't remember if it was the first Halo that you could online play with people already, if you had like a headset and internet or whatever. But whatever the first Halo was where you could actually play with people on your friends list, like do what's it called? Remote play or whatever. I got into a voice call with some randos, I think a handful of times, and learned that there was no fucking way I was ever gonna sit there because it didn't matter. The moment they found out you were a girl, it was just some of the most, to this day, some of the most foul female, like, sexual assault language I have ever heard in my entire life, and I was on their team. So, couldn't do that anymore. Off that dance card, if you know what I mean. I know. Let's take a break and go get some water because I need my fucking water. I sip all the time. This is literally like a huge amount of ice cubes with some real orange juice on it because I'm trying to get extra calories on top of everything because I didn't eat a lot. But I do need to go get my water. Was Halo to the first one? I can't remember. My cousins actually got me into it. Two of my older cousins were like, dude, we can actually like play together on this. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I play with them all the time, but once in a while I played with a rando group and I was like, oh my God, no. Instead of going out and doing crimes and getting drunk and pregnant, my friends and I just played Goldeneye and Mario Kart and drink too much soda. The amount of times, oh my God, Kel, I can't even tell you the amount of times I've caught my mom, like, offhand, kind of like fake bragging, but definitely bragging. Like, my girls just didn't get into any trouble. And I'll be like, that's because I was like almost unhealthily obsessed with the Ocarina of Time. And while I was at school, I was thinking about it. And I would come home from school, literally turn on my TV, and it would already be on because I didn't turn the Xbox off. And then I would play it until I literally couldn't get away with playing it anymore. And then I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and play it until the bus came. And then I would just turn the TV off, but not turn the 64 off, go to school, think about it all day, come home. Like, I didn't have time to get pregnant, drugs, STDs. I had the water temple to do. You know what I mean? That's my stress of school that I remember is the fucking Zora temple. It was terrible. And, like, maybe if people had that, maybe they wouldn't have been fucking in the woods and getting pregnant. I don't know. Semi-pro, oh, I was never good. I was the one that would just cackle and bomb everything. A toxic waste dump of humanity where you get incredibly close with people and then be toxic fucking waste dump of humanity with them religiously. That sounds terrible. It sounds like school. Was it ODST that introduced assassins? Was it? GoldenEye had assassinating in it, didn't it? The one on 64? Couldn't you sneak up on people and do something? Fuck, I played that a lot as a kid, but I don't remember. I don't remember. I mean, Rogue, not without getting a medical license to do it first. Oh, the animations. Oh, wow, I don't know. Sorry, I thought you meant like assassination. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, I just gotta hang out. Okay. Break, break, break. I'm still looking at fucking Kill's dope ass wall. This wall is so beautiful. You really did a really good job. I'd pay you to do my wall. That's gorgeous. Let's take a break. I need to go get to my water bottle. I am so dehydrated and dry. Enjoy some music, yeah? Wash your butts. Take your joy. Get some water. Rinse your bong. Don't be gross. We see you. Like, being able to play music and not get busted for it. Can't really link the songs because that kind of adds proof that we were listening to music. Um, and the music is like gone. You know what I'm saying? But both of those tracks were Electric Callboy. One of them, bitch. The last one was, yeah, I wish. The last one was Pump It by Electric Callboy, and the one before that was We Got the Moves, both by Electric Callboy. They used to be Electric Eskimo or something, or Eskimo Callboy, something like that. But trying not to be a racially insensitive cunts, they changed it to Electric Callboy. So if you've heard of that before, you are familiar with them. Yeah, that's the same band. But Electric Callboy, We Got the Moves is phenomenal. It's probably my favorite. I do, absolutely. So if you type exclamation point song or exclamation point playlist in the chat right now, my bot will pop up a bunch of links. One of the links is a massive Spotify playlist that I have just been accumulating literally for like 8+ ish years, kind of. And then the YouTube one, the YouTube link will send you to a YouTube playlist that has been every single song that we have enjoyed as a community and that the community has given me and that I've found and shared with everybody, just liked and saved into this massive fucking playlist called The Tits. And you are welcome to them both. Fly with them, use them, do it, they're fantastic. They're eclectic as fuck, but it's genuinely like really just good music from across the genres. It's all up in there. Tits are great, right? Also, hydration. Got it. They did a whole video series on their name change. Boom. I think we watched that, didn't we? The music videos are well worth the watch. They're fantastic. They really are hilarious. They're like a super funny music videos and just really good metal. Kind of whatever you would call that, techno metal. Oh, my shoulder is fucked. Yeah, they're great. Exclamation point then song. It's the stupid bot commands. Boom. There you go. That's one of them. And then if you do playlist, I think you get more. Hold on. They're both the YouTube one. Those are the YouTube ones. Yeah. The YouTube one is honestly the best one. It's massive. They have access to the vast majority of stuff, whereas Spotify, they have to have a fucking contract, blah, blah, blah. So they don't have as much music. And we do listen to some obscure shit. We listen to a lot of live bands. We listen to a lot of like YouTubers who cover songs, but in a different genre. For instance, like Postmodern Jukebox is amazing. Frog Leap Studios is he Norwegian? I want to say. Correct me. I believe he's Norwegian, but he takes songs like Adele's "Hello" or that song by Pink, "Cover Me in Sunshine" or something, and makes a metal version of it. He plays all the instruments himself, does all the vocals, and he's phenomenal. We listen to a lot of stuff like that where it's just like, for a while it wasn't available on Spotify. Now it is, but because it was all on YouTube, that list is phenomenal. It's so big, and you can just put it on random; it'll go everywhere. Partycore, I like that. It is really high energy. Absolutely, dude. Music is so important. There is there is a Totoro. Is there a Totoro sticker on here? Oh, I have so many weird stickers. A lot of them are from Burning Man. That one. I believe Eliza gave me that one. She gave me a huge stack of stickers back in the day. I have like a drug deal. I have Mr. Business, Free Magic with his windowless van. Kentucky Fried something. Wieners? This is from Burning Man. That's from Burning Man. Satan. That's Burning Man. That's our nebula where I've watched people fall. That's a nun filleting a banana. I don't know where that came from. I got a lot of weird stuff on here. Yeah. I try to keep them on as long as I can, but I wash my water bottle a lot. No shit. Tank the Tech, who just managed Electric Callboy's last couple gigs. That's fucking dope. Sorry, I gotta move chat so I can actually see you guys while I have the game up. But yeah, Electric Callboy, check them out. The list. The list is grand. Usually I'm switching over to a game right now because we have a game I really want to finish. But first 3 hours, usually first like half of my stream, we love to just like chill and literally just throw music back and forth and listen to dank new bands we find. And it has been probably like the gold mine of my life because it's so hard to find just like interesting new music anymore. I feel like I go back to the same artists I've been listening to since I was 16. Because while, yes, there's exponentially more music available to me now, it's like I feel drowning. I feel like I'm drowning in it. It's just like, I don't know where to go. And half the time, like, even with YouTube and shit, the suggested stuff is stuff I've listened to 5 million times. Like, I'm not getting anything new anymore. And it kind of sucks. So, people, though, they have their pros. You know what I'm saying? Ow! Get in the game. Right? It's just it's like there's I know there's good shit out there because we all find it all the time. The only reason I know about the Northern Boys, Electric Callboy, etc., is because of chat. Someone in our community has thrown it out there and been like, check out this crazy band of retired 70-year-old history teachers in England who rap. Would I have Googled that? Oh, I'm gonna load a bowl and smoke away that stupid little fruit fly. It's haunting me. The fucking El Estepario. How the fuck would I have ever found Estepario Siberiano? Ever. And now I get all sorts of really cool drummers and shit suggested to me. It's just crazy like how you can get it though. I don't know how to find it anymore. It sucks. Because there's no benefit in them exposing us to new stuff. Everybody reverts to their teenage music, I think. Really? I feel like I do when I just am everything that's coming out just doesn't feel good. Like, it's not being played, it's not hitting whatever that pleasure note is in my head. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure you're all familiar with it. It's like there are some songs that just immediately your brain wants to eat it over and over and over again. And I've gone years without that sometimes, and I'm like, guess I'm just gonna listen to Alanis Morissette again because I don't know what to do. This sucks. Great thing about Twitch before the DMCA screwed it up, clicking into a stream and finding a new artist to listen to. So I figured out some black magic. If you type exclamation point black magic, all one word, no spaces into my chat, it will pull up a YouTube link that gives you full, very easy instructions on how to still listen to music on your stream. Benefits, no DMCA strikes since I started doing it literally a couple years ago. Downsides, all of your clips are this silent. Like, we're just sitting in silence right now because I'm starting up the game. But your clips will have nothing in the background. It's just you talking. So if you're like me and you decide to sing along with the music and have a terrible voice, those clips are really embarrassing. But other than that, it's great. The year before I figured out how to do that via my friend Little Sia, who's a fucking goddess, via, I believe, Genova passed it on to us. The year of not having music in my channel and having to listen to like license-free chill hop almost killed me and my channel. Like, I had, for the first time since starting streaming almost 9 years ago, I don't even know anymore. I don't want to talk about time. Time is horrible. Since starting streaming ages ago, it was the first time in my life that I didn't want to stream. I wasn't excited to wake up in the morning. I wasn't excited to come hang out because I was living in the drone of just like, whatever, that humming fucking just repetitive bullshit. Because I mean, I couldn't listen to music with my friends, which is just the stupidest thing to say out loud ever, but that's literally what it felt like. Thank fuck for being able to separate audio in OBS, because holy shit. Nightmares. Wait, a what? Oh my god, I thought this is a shotgun trailer. Hold on, I moved my chat. Yep. Like I always say, finding new music is sifting through shit looking for a truffle. Oh my god, are y'all my truffle pig? Are we each other's truffle pigs? I always just ask people if they get random new music to recommend or music I hear on streams that I thought sounded nice. I mean, I same. And I remember clearly, like, I couldn't name people because it's been many times, but there are people to this day. Mr. Creep, one of my favorite streamers. He's an incredible artist. Um, he we were both creative streamers, but we had no connections, no friend connections or anything yet. And I think he popped into my stream one day, and the only reason he said anything, because he's a pretty shy dude and likes to lurk, the only reason he said anything is I was listening to Nine Inch Nails, and we both gushed over Nine Inch Nails for a while. And that's happened multiple times with multiple of my people in my stream that have now been here for 8+ years. And the only reason they stuck around in a moment of silence while I was painting something, Nine Inch Nails was going on, they were like, "Oh, fucking Trent." And I was like, "Fucking Trent, though." Music is like a different, it's not even a language. It's like a higher thinking form that really is a different little connection with people. And having to cut that out of your day to day, it was sickening. It made me feel sick. Oh, it's a Shogun. Wait, like the book? Hold on, I'm clearing out some links so it doesn't crash. Don't crash. Don't crash. No. Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite books ever. Okay, let's watch this before we pull it up. I was loading a bowl anyways. We'll watch this in cheers. Make sure the game's muted. This was one of my like one of the first like I don't even know like one of the first kind of adult books I ever read. I think ever, like a book that wasn't just a young adult before even young adult existed in Barnes and Noble, like a young adult fantasy novel or something like that. This was like the first one. My mom loved this book and she bought it for me as a kid. Oh my god, music connects. Yes, I think because music speaks to a part of ourselves that we don't share with others willingly if we even know how to share that part with others. Music hits something in you that like you and I don't need to have shared a trauma or have anything in common other than we both fucking love this group, and that says enough. It really says a lot. I don't know. It's crazy. Music is weird and wonderful, but weird. Yes, we will stretch. I need to. My shoulders. I took a fucking boiling hot bath last night and just soaked in it, and it did help a lot. It loosened that shit up, but I feel like I can't get this shoulder down. It's weird. I can see it's down, but like it feels like it keeps crawling up my neck. It was like It looked like Sin City, it had like that weird exposure or whatever it was, underexposure. I don't know what you would call it. It was very visually, it was like eye candy. But the story of Gates of Fire is so fucking much. It's an actual. There's a story. It's not just a narrator talking slow for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's so good. Oh, it's phenomenal. I don't think I saw 300 in the theaters. I don't remember, but I mean, the animation style is cool and all, but I had already read the book. I hadn't read the graphic novel, so honestly, I went and saw the movie and had no idea. Like, for real, no one told me 300 had anything to do with Gates of Fire because I don't think I had friends that I like talked to about the books I read. What the fuck? And I would have never known. I would have never known had I not found out about the graphic novel and then found out the graphic novel was based on the book, but they made the graphic novel about Leonidas instead of about the Shield Boy. But yeah, it was super, super interesting, and like it goes over, the loving relationship between the Shield Boys and their warrior masters, i.e., they were like sexual aggression toys, and like all the things they had to carry with them, and just like the mental anguish of it all. I mean, it's a really, really good book. It's one of those, square, big, thick, 400 pages, but it's good. I just remembered I got to change my screen name like everywhere since the Daily Wire is going to be releasing a movie based on books about the Arthurian legend. If anyone has good ideas, I'm all ears. I am terrible at coming up with names. I literally name everything in games just Katie because I don't know what else to do. I'm so bad at it. I wish. I wish. That looked amazing. I'm literally going to have to send that to my mom because that's one of her favorite books ever, weirdly. I need to see chat. Okay, here we go. I was expecting Gladiator and got Shallow Pro Wrestling. I don't know. You know, This is a weird I don't know if this is a real thing, but I have this weird, like, feeling, a state like I miss this thing. There was a period of time where movies incited emotions and feelings with music and, like, beautiful cinematography, and the movies that come to my mind, for instance, are like Gladiator, or if you ever saw is it What Dreams May Come? Not Requiem. What Dreams May Come, it's the one with Robin Williams, and he goes into his afterlife. But there's something I don't know what it is. There was this magic in cinema that I don't think we will ever, ever get again. And I don't know what the fuck it was because it's got to be like we got to be able to do it. We have more technology, we have more tools, we have more now. Like why wouldn't we be able to do? It's something. I don't know what it was, but I keep going back to those movies and I keep trying to figure out like what's the feeling that I'm getting here. And it's not nostalgia, it's just something they're able to give a Hook at it. For instance, the movie Hook, I just had another one. The Santa Claus is a Christmas movie. Take Christmas out of it. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That movie to this day, like there are moments where it just like the music it builds this weird emotional like overflow in me, and I get a little teary for some reason. And I don't know. Movies just don't do anything like that anymore. Like we've lost it, or we decided to replace it with CGI or something. But I feel that. I know what you're talking. I know exactly what you mean. It's just like missing something. All these homophobic fuckers have Spartan stickers on the card. Wait, they don't know? Should we tell them? Popcorn movie's a good one, yeah. It's entertaining, and I really like, the guy who plays Leonidas. What's his name? I just blanked on it. He's a good actor. He's entertaining. Yeah, money just movies to print money, and it's, like, just, like, overstimulation. Unique stories that aren't franchises, that's probably a big part of it. They can still do movies like that, just few people choose to do them. I want them back. Interstellar does. Some movies still have phenomenal soundtracks that still do that to me, don't get me wrong. It's just like Gerard Butler. Thank you, Gerard Butler. I could see him. I'm one of the like rom-coms that I can put up with, i.e. I watch regularly is P.S. I Love You. Oh my god. If you ever just feel congested like you need to cry, oh. Death. Also, what's her fuck's big old beautiful titties? Win-win. Cheers. Hillary Skank. That one. The 2K launcher's gonna fuck me. Stop. Just let us finish. Love Actually is one of those for me too. Yep, it's a guaranteed. Also, Selena. But I wasn't even of like a die. I had her CD, of course I did, but I wasn't someone that was like, oh my God, Selena! Like while she was alive. But the movie Selena, it doesn't matter. I could just catch the end bit. Like the moment that song starts, like every night when I'm alone and something, I wake up and think of you. That song that plays, you know the fucking song. I would just immediately be like, "Ah, no, turn it off. Oh God. Instant. It's wild. That last scene was well done and horrible. Sorry about that, but no shade. I think I was just talking about this maybe yesterday. Were we talking about spiders yesterday? Think so. But I was telling y'all that there's like in Colorado, we have giant jumping spiders. There's one on top of my curtain right now. And I was coming in from taking the dogs out and I saw its ass. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Zach, look. Literally, they are the size of my thumbnail. Like the body, the butt. They're so big. And she's just chilling on top of one of my curtain rods right now. And honestly, I'm happy because maybe she'll eat that goddamn fruit fly that's been haunting me. 100 grand or Baby Ruth? Why? Okay. Remind me what 100 grand is. 100 grand. Does 100 grand have chocolate on it? Remind me what 100 grand is. I haven't bought a candy bar in a really long time. I know what a Baby Ruth is. I love old people candy. So if I'm going to choose, I'm going to go for the nut roll. It's like the red wrapper, but it's literally just like frosting rolled in peanuts. And I freeze it and then I slowly like chisel away at it with my teeth, which is terrible for me. But also, like, I can't remember what the difference is. What up, Bert? How are you? Rice Krispie. I'm a really big fan of chocolate that has like little tiny bits of toffee in it. Not enough to get stuck in your teeth though. What up, Mismo? Mismo, how are you? Mismo? God damn, my shoulder is so tight. Cheers. Yeah, I can't remember the difference between a big grand and I mean, 100. I can't remember what 100 grand is. I haven't had one in so long. But I've found like the higher ingredients and less shit in the whatever the candy is. Usually it's better. Like, I'll get down on a fucking Snickers bar. Don't get me wrong. But like, just a really good chocolate bar with some pieces of toffee in it or like peanuts or something is usually better. I really like good chocolate. I've been spoiled. Heath bars are good. Have you ever had? Oh my God, there's a local ice cream place in Colorado. What the fuck are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but they have new flavors kind of rotating all the time. And they have like cereal based ice cream that is oftentimes fucking delicious. But they have a Heath bar ice cream and it is one of the best ice creams. It's like chocolate based ice cream. And then they chop up Heath bars into it. It's so fucking good. And all of their ice cream is like candy dense, like super candy dense. You know what I mean? You ever get ice cream where it's like chunks of whatever it in, there's 2 chunks. I'm not here for the ice cream if I'm getting something that has chunks in it. I'm here for the chunks. The ice cream's like the conduit, just keeps it cold. Absolutely. Want to know? Oh my God, I haven't really talked about this. I can't taste M&Ms right now. I tried, and eating frozen M&Ms right now feels like just chewing on wood chips. And it was like I ate 3 and just put them back. I have not had my M&Ms in so long. I couldn't taste them. It was just sharp nothing in my mouth. I was so sad. What up, Isabelli? How are you? Colorado is pretty cool. Like, I feel like you could do everything there is to do in a week, but it's pretty for that week. There's some very interesting stuff, like that ice cream place. Like, there's very weird pockets, here and there of like unique food, and there's literally fucking the best taco trucks in the world everywhere. Grem Gremlin. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Gremlins. It is a really good one. I want to use it, but I wanted to figure out how to say it. Gremlins. I'm 100% a Gremlin. For those of you not in the know, if you're looking for a good late night snack that is just texturally incredible and has great flavor if you don't have COVID currently, frozen peanut M&Ms. Don't think about it. Just do it. You're welcome. I was only super sick, like non-functioning for about 5 days. I gave myself an extra 2 days because the fatigue that not allegedly, evidently, apparently to everyone I know who has had COVID that sticks around for a really long time, was so hard to like just get through. 5 days though, I was awake maybe a total of 4 hours every day just to like pee and take my dogs out and eat something. And that was scattered throughout the day. Like I was just so dizzy and low energy and fucking like out of my mind, like a fishbowl on my head, like just the congestion and everything, and the virus and the fever. I just slept constantly, and I wanted to. I wasn't forcing myself to go to bed. Like I was just fucking tired. Yeah, I would say 5. Honestly, my buddy Neuro came in. He works for the CDC and like works for the CDC. He's a neurosurgeon who works for the CDC, working in like COVID numbers and trying to preventing us from dying and coming up with new vaccinations and shit like that. He came in and talked to me about it, and he said 5 days is actually a really, really good symptomatic time, like super short in general, which is horrible. That means most people have more than that, like a lot more than that. I'm very grateful I wasn't taken out for that long. Like I probably could sleep a lot more than I am right now, but I'm trying to get back into a rhythm because I feel like if I let my body just stay fatigued, it'll stay fatigued. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like falling out of shape or something. Like I got to kick my own ass. 'Cause I don't feel sick anymore. I don't feel like I have a fever, but I still can't really smell or taste anything. I can smell weird random things here and there, but that's it. I would agree that like a third of Colorado is super beautiful. Anything close to the mountains, anything within like a 20-mile radius of the mountains, gorgeous, green, the aspen, whatever. Everything else of Colorado strictly looks like Kansas, though. It's just like flat nothing. Literal, actual tumbleweeds, actual antelope. Like it's where the antelope play. Actually, seen them. But you can't even tell when you roll. The only reason you know you're in Kansas now, there's a lot less people and a lot more Trump signs. It's the thing that killed me when I got COVID. Oh my god, the undead. It's proven. All I wanted to do was sleep. It was just so exhausting. That's how I feel. Like still, I'm forcing myself to like eat more than I normally do because I feel like the calories are what's helping me push me through just getting through a normal day, being awake more than 4 hours. The fatigue is terrible and like the burning lungs. Like just trying to get back into my yoga routine. I haven't even tried to run. My lungs burn. It reminds me of like the first day of PE after summer break when they're like, you have it like third period in the middle of the fucking day and you go in and you're like, please give me an easy day. Please let us just look at the weights and learn safety. And your PE teacher's like, all right, we're running a mile on the track. And you're like, okay. That is what it feels like just to like try to do some fucking yoga. It is. Mismo, honestly, I'm grateful it's not as bad as it is. I've been able to get fully boosted, fully vaxxed, all that shit, and I feel really, really happy. I'm grateful. I don't know another word. I won't take that for granted that I'm able to do all of that because I fucking have no idea how bad it would have been had I not been able to get all the boosts and stuff like that. So I'm super grateful in terms of that, and I'm grateful that I have a life that means I don't have to like really upend anyone else's life to take some time off and stay in my house and not get anyone sick and not try to kill them. I don't want to spread this shit. I consider myself a fairly healthy person. I know I'm in shape. I eat really good, and the fact that it took me out that long, I haven't been that like take me out of commission sick since swine flu, which I can't even. What was that, like 15 years ago? What year is it? 23. I was like 2014, 15, 13. That's the last time I had this bad of like like I was noticeably feverish and just sweat cold, sweat cold, sweat cold. Like I would stand outside in the snow, like we got slammed with like a good 8 inches of snow while we were sick. I would stand out there but have like 4 quilts wrapped around me, shivering because the wind hurt, but like I was so hot, but also so cold. But also I had no energy to walk back inside, so I was just like, this is how I die. I had to be escorted back in. It was a weird. I haven't been that sick in a really long time. Are M&Ms worse in the States? I know British Hershey's are pretty good, and I've heard American Hershey sucks. I don't know if Hershey's in other countries is better. Hershey's as a company owns, like, they own Cadbury now, I believe. If not, Cadbury owns Hershey, something like that. Like, there are, like, really, like, fancy or, like, well-known chocolate brands that we're all like, those are the good chocolates that are actually owned by Hershey. I have no idea. I view chocolate the way I view coffee. Like, I need it. I'll drink it slash eat it from a 7-Eleven, the floor, cold maybe, but I'd probably prefer it a little higher quality. But I ain't no snob, you know what I'm saying? I'm really nervous about my husband going to Thanksgiving and his families this year. They are always sick. Man, if there's kids, he's gonna get sick. And not blaming that on kids. I just even working in the hospital, the trend that happens every fall always coincides with kids going back to school. They go back to school, their petri dishes, they bring it home to their parents. Their parents might not get sick, but then their parents go interact with the rest of the world who maybe isn't exposed to little petri dishes all the time. And that's kind of how things proliferate. Honestly, if you're worried about it and your husband is absolutely going to go, just tell him, wash your hands every fucking moment you think about it. That's how we stay safe in the hospital. Seriously, like if you're washing your hands literally constantly, it takes someone open mouth sneezing into your facial orifices to have enough, unless you're already compromised. You know what I mean? The Hershey's in the States intentionally slightly sours the milk with an agent that actually preserves the milk a little bit longer. It's what soldiers used to do. We're used to. I believe it. I think like my sister and my mom went on like I can see that giant spider and it's so far away. It's crazy. Um, my sister and my mom went on a tour of the Theo chocolate factory company, whatever, that's like somewhere in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle, Washington area. I don't remember which city it's in, but they went on a tour of this factory and got to learn about chocolate and stuff. And they learned that Hershey's is like, I want to say around 80% wax. And in order to be considered chocolate, you only need to be around like 4% cocoa, which is why, more expensive chocolate will say like 80%, 90%. Hershey's doesn't say a percent, something like that. It's like mostly just sugar, I think. The first time I tried true European dark chocolate, I remember that too, and it just melts in your fucking mouth. Same. I could never go back. You ruined you, right? I did the same. Have you ever seen the movie Chocolat or Chocolate or whatever the fuck you want to call it with I can't remember the main actress's name, but it's got Johnny Depp in it when he's young. And it's basically chocolate porn if you love chocolate. But there's a scene when there's like the little townspeople are talking about what this chocolate she makes them feel like, and she talks about these chocolate seashells that just like literally melt in your mouth, just into the smoothest texture ever. And I remember I went to Germany, and we were in the Bavaria area, the greater Bavaria area, and there was like chocolate stores everywhere. And I was like, it's got to be a tourist thing. Like this has got to be a trap because everyone's like, ooh, Bavarian chocolate. Like that's got to be mysterious. But there was no one in there and we were bored and we were like, fuck, they have coffee too. Like, let's go get some cappuccinos and chocolate. And it blew my fucking mind. It was like probably what y'all would consider of the German people shitty quality chocolate. Like, I got the cheap shit because I was poor, am always. But it was still the best chocolate I've ever had in my entire life. It literally, like, I think I bought a couple bags of just like assorted little chocolates to bring home as souvenirs, tasted one as a joke, and did not give anyone chocolate as a souvenir. I'm pretty sure I ate all of it before I got out of Germany. It was so good. Like, chocolate in the States, you have to chew, my dudes. You have to crumble, chew, get it stuck in your teeth, and wait for the melt to finally occur once you've held your mouth shut long enough, if you've never had it. The experience of something just being what you dream it should be and what you're kind of convincing yourself it always has supposed to been in your mouth, it was life altering. I totally get it. Yeah. It's waxy. It does not taste the same. It's like a grape Jolly Rancher versus eating a grape. We call them the same thing. They are not the fucking same thing. Yeah, I totally get that, man. American chocolate has an extra ingredient to make it taste like it's made with sour milk. Really? Are we back? I saw everything down, but it looks back. Bubble? What the fuck? We're back? Whoa. Sorry if I was just sitting there staring into nothing, but I asked if we were back, and then chat didn't do anything, and then it just all loaded at one moment. Like all of you saying we're back at the exact same moment. Thank you so much. We're good. Okay, yeah, my chat. Okay, let's talk about what the you tell me what just happened for you, because wild. So I have chat up on one of my monitors. These two monitors, same computer, middle monitor, different computer. So I have chat here, OBS here. On OBS, I'm watching you guys say, oof, something must have happened. Zeke's still here. Zeke's still up. But my chat window was not loading any of chat. I'm talking chat like in the OBS window that you guys can see. That was loading, but not. But then I opened up chat in a different browser and it didn't load anything at all. And then all of a sudden it loaded all at the exact same time. What the fuck? Are we okay? Should we finish the game before my fucking computer goes, like, something happens with whatever, the internet? Jesus. I love when things are reliable. I prefer dark chocolate too, but I think that's because I was so accustomed to milk chocolate equating to Hershey's. Now that I've had true milk chocolate made from chocolatiers that actually put cocoa in their chocolate, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I like both. But I wouldn't, like, if someone offered me dark chocolate from Hershey's, I would take that over milk, because milk chocolate is not anything. Sorry. Everything did weird things. I don't know what the fuck that was. I literally just lost all of my, like, frames and everything for a minute. And that was it. I hope we're still back. I'm just gonna take a hit and go back into the game before we lose everything. I've never had a chocolate tart, I don't think. I just actually had a fruit tart for the very first time in my life a couple weeks ago. Not for lack of wanting to, I just never was made one and never saw one in my entire life. Anywhere. Milk chocolate is the American cheese. Yes, it's like those cheese caves. Where are they? West Virginia? Something like that? There's like caves of American cheese somewhere. It's kind of fucking, it's like magical in the grossest way. Like, of all the things we could have a magical cave of, it is Velveeta. A fancy good chocolate cocoa bomb. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yeah. That's like it's like a fudge ball rolled in like cocoa powder, right? 'Cause holy shit, yeah. Nutella in Germany is amazing, delicious as fuck. Nutella in America, they add the palm oil garbage. It has the consistency of snot. It's disgusting. I'm gonna have to try Nutella next time I go to a different country, because honestly, I don't like Nutella, and it's always been this strange. It's got like a gummy texture or something to it that I'm like, what's wrong with it? Something's in it that's not just nuts and chocolate, is all I'm saying. I didn't know that was the fucking palm oil. Yes. Oh, Zucrarion. I mean, did you ever grow up with, like, I guess, I think my mom called it, like, fairy bread or something, but it was basically taking, like, good bread and putting good butter on it and then chocolate sprinkles or, like, chocolate shavings, and you get that little crinkle crunch. Mhm. I went to Hershey Park. It's a fun park. The Brown River's a little much, but it was fun. Yeah, it's shit and shitty for the environment. That's what I thought. Yeah. America does ruin everything though. I mean, I after living in Colorado for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I learned that Wonder Bread comes from Denver, so yay. Probably because we stopped importing it. Probably trouble, I'm sure. Oh no, I went to Hershey Park, God, when I still lived in Baltimore. Years before COVID, many years ago. I fucking love traveling, so I will look for it. I didn't realize it was different here in the States. Thinking to myself, European must be crazy to like this stuff. Me too. And people, like, would make hot chocolate with it and stuff, and I was like, "This is disgusting. Why would you do that?" I'm so glad it's just America ruining things again. You can make Nutella, heat any nut butter until it's runny, add chocolate and melt together about 50-50. Isn't, like, the marketed Nutella, is that hazelnut? About 50-50, and that's rather stiff to spread. Some people add oil, but you don't have to. I mean, if you put it on warm bread, it would be spreadable. Honestly, don't spread it, just, like, shave it, and then you have that crispy crunchy. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do this. I don't want no nutting. Like, at first, I thought it was literally a joke, and then people informed me that the joke became something people decided to be was real. Be was real? Stop it. You know what I mean. I just absolutely not. Like, all jokes aside, it is just detrimental to your health. If you feel the need and have the time, place, and privacy, like, get it. Didn't know about it, and her first reaction was literally, "Hell no, not in this house." Fuck yes, because she knows basic fucking human health. What? What? That is just crazy. I don't know how anyone could buy into that. Same kind of people that don't eat carbs. I just don't. What the fuck? They have they have people in their basement. It's obvious. One study I saw was 5 times a week reduced the chance of prostate cancer by 20%. Dude, I mean, who wouldn't be doing that? If that's legit, that's incredible. Like, don't give yourself a callus. There are people that really believe not masturbating is good for them. It's so fucking stupid. I think it's a really good case of another like, we did our own research, i.e., we found something that justified something we already wanted to believe or wanted to stand by or wanted to fight by or the hill we wanted to die on, and therefore it's proven. Kind of bullshit. It's some kind of culty nonsense like that because there is nothing. There is no legitimate study, health, literally anything done by anyone accredited that says, like, no. What? No. I don't need to say it, right? All adults should have lube in their house if they're sexually active, 100%. Jerking off is healthy, and anybody with a spinal injury who has impacted their boner can tell you lack of use actually does make your dick smaller. It's a muscle. Honestly, like the whole connection to your asshole, your taint and everything, the engorged part, it's a muscle. Like no shit. And like if you regularly stop using a very specific muscle group, your body will not tend to that muscle group as much. It won't send as much blood flow there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And like you could ask anyone who's been put on a brain drug that made it so they either couldn't get hard or literally just couldn't come. I don't know which one would drive you more insane. And like that aside, just being able to rub one out when you want to is integral to mental health, in my opinion. That's would drive me more insane than most things. No Nut November's top tier stupid. Looks like someone failed. Someone had to keep your mom happy. That's fucking glorious. That's phenomenal. I love when a good mom joke is still thrown in there, or that's what she said. I stand by a that's what she said. They have je ne sais fuck, if you will. I don't know what it is. It's like people don't expect it to land as hard as it lands sometimes. Nonstop nut. I like that. It's really hard for my mouth for some reason. Nonstop nut November. Nonstop nut November. Nonstop nut November. I feel like the added syllable hurts my mouth for some reason. I'm far more, I mean, honestly, do what you will, but do not deprive yourself. It doesn't help any charity. It's not adding any purity to your body. Like, scientifically speaking, your prostate is a gland near your rectum that, like, swells with the seminal fluid that takes your sperm with it into whatever the fuck you decide to come into. And if it just engorges itself, it can become inflamed and it can press on the ureter and it makes it so instead of just peeing, you have to push to pee and problems, prostate cancer, et cetera, like, look into it. I don't have these parts, and I looked into it. Like, it's important shit to know. Know your body. You know what I'm saying? Nonstop, I'm only human. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't get calluses, obviously. That's not a good plan. Nonstop Nut November with a mouthful. I don't have any milk on hand, otherwise I would, because that would be funny. Hold on, I'm looking at, we have the remastered. BioShock 2 Remastered. I fucking love BioShock so much. I'm really excited for this one because it's been so I really have not played this one in years. Just because I usually just go straight into Infinite because it's my favorite and it's so fucking good. I'm excited though because it's so unfamiliar. I don't. Oh, is this the one with a big sister? I believe it might be. It improves your mood, and like chemically speaking, it literally releases like incredible amounts of endorphins and dopamine and serotonin and all the happy chemicals that just make you feel good about existing in the world. Like, don't come on things that don't belong to you or anyone if it's not consensual. If we're running the furry logic, then we're gonna be swimming in it, dude. I mean, honestly, like, just don't come in your fursuits. Those seem expensive. Why's it gotta be nut? I don't have nuts, but I still want to masturbate all month, right? I mean, I don't know what else. I say rub one out. But that doesn't really rhyme with November in any way, shape, or form. Rub one out November. Because we all kind of just rub one out at the end of the day, really. Like, I know very few people that are jerking it like they're milking a fucking cow. You know? We talking about healthy masturbation while I download the next game. We're talking about how unhealthy it is to deprive yourself of rubbing one out just because some fucking weird people who, I don't know, hate themselves on the internet decided to do it. Tap together on 420 CST. I can't do that on this website. Consent is key, 100%. But I agree with you. Circle jerk around the world. Holy shit. Can you imagine just one enormous limp biscuit? Oh no. Stop. Katie. Spiff. Does she have bipolar? I've heard that's a symptom. I can see that giant spider. It's so big. Not mine. Crazy that I live in a place where jumping spiders are so big I can see them from this far away. It's insane. PCOS, yeah. Hormone shit. It always does it. It's crazy. Honestly, real talk, while this game downloads, this is serious time. I've had a lot of female friends in my life. I have never known a person who presents as female on the outside who fits that fucking like cold, rigid, I don't like sex stereotype that I was led to believe was very normal via movies, etc., etc., etc. I have never known one ever. Ever. And I'm not just talking females I know sexually, like I've had fucking sexual relationships with. I'm talking like just female friends. They are horny all the time. All the time. Like borderline insatiable levels. You know what I'm saying? Where the fuck did that like women don't like it thing come from? So what you're saying, she's flexible. Everyone jerks off around the world for peace. Oh, for world peace, can you imagine? We're gonna need music like, ooh, you touch my trela. People lie about things. Who knew? I just wanted to, like, usually there's a source, right? I know ace people that masturbate 100%. Ace can really cover a lot of different levels of like not wanting to have activity with another person. Some people don't have a sex drive and some people just don't have it for other people. We've all been dosed up on the hormones and also high, probably. They put there's hormones in almost all meat and shit these days, right? What's the line? Every guy thinks they want a lot of sex until they meet a woman that just wants a lot of sex. I've read that. I've seen that a lot of places. It came from a time when there was no divorce and from women being shamed for liking sex. I thought about that. Like, either it was they married someone that they were just not sexually attractive to because it was the thing to do, or they were just tired of trying to have an orgasm with their partner when, like, you know what I mean? Like, communication wasn't exactly a thing that was encouraged in the bedroom or about bedroom activities. It was just kind of like figure it out before they do kind of thing. Like a race to the end, if you will, a little silent race. The women don't like it trope came about for men to feel better about not making women come and to keep women from having sex for fun.
Hi, gay.
No, wrong one. It was no. Is it?
Sir, whose tail is you digging in with that?
That's a whole
Show of
bunch of
hands, which
bullshit.
piece
That's
of
all I
tail cousin
want.
off of my comment section gonna sit up there and let him dig in your butt with that? Not me, because you're not fixing to line up my chakras with that.
Dude, that happens to so many people. I thought I was ace until I came off contraception. Then I realized very quickly I really fucking wasn't. I honestly thought I was going to live my life in a state of a migraine until I finally got a doctor that was like, wait, you have migraines all the time? Are you on hormonal birth control? And I was like, yeah, I have been for 8 years. And they were like, oh my God, you might be dying. And they took me off of it. And now I get a migraine like once every 6 months, as opposed to like having 3 days a month that I don't want to die. Amazing what that shit does to you. Amazing. The FBI did studies about large groups who meditated together, and it showed lower criminal activity in the periods after meditation. Really? I believe that. Meditation or masturbation? Or yes. And I slipped. No. Oh, is this that one? Wait, is this? Stop it. Washington, where I went to school, there is an electricity of museum, and they have the original Tesla coil, like Tesla coil, one of Tesla's Tesla coil. I don't know. You can pay like $50 and sit in a cage in a Faraday cage, whatever it is, and they'll shock you with the coil. It's really loud. It's cool though. Yeah, that was pretty cool. What a cool way to end stream. The game finally downloaded. I just didn't. We only had like a half hour left, and I was like, you know what? Playing like one. That's basically the intro to the game. I'd rather just start it tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, if you're awake, tomorrow morning or late morning, my noon, whatever, we'll start BioShock 2 Remastered, which, if I remember correctly, is, while not being the best, it's still fucking dank. I also think this is the game where when it, instead of like announcing that BioShock 2 is coming out, this like random website came up where every couple of weeks it would be updated and there'd be different little things, and it was basically like an interactive room on a boat. And it was clues leading you to the fact that BioShock 2 was being announced, but none of us knew. Haha, it was like a big secret thing. It was really cool. It was like a mystery. Do we fall back tonight? Honestly, I have no idea. Do we? Computers and shit and like phones, everything connected to the internet should just do that, right? So that means we get an extra hour of sleep. I believe everybody gets to sleep in. Yeah. That's, well, everybody. A lot of people get to sleep in. Some people get to sleep in. A few people do. Dude, right? I feel like I need to put out a sacrifice or like a friend to the fucking eels now. Most things will auto update, yes, but good reminder for those of you that have like a digital clock just plugged into the wall that doesn't have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever the fuck. Anything like that, clocks on your microwaves, your oven, things in the kitchen. Everything has a clock these days, but those things that aren't connected to Wi-Fi and stuff like that, make sure to change your clock so you don't fuck yourself up. I know. She knows what time it is. Hello, ma'am. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Hello, my precious girl. How are you doing? What are you up to? Just being cute as shit. Looking like a haunted Victorian. What was it like to die of tuberculosis? The cholera. Adam, were you married at the ripe age of 14 when your moon was between two rivers? She is viciously. She's like very much cute and knows it, you know? Like, pet me. She'll just hit you until you pet. Kids, dogs, I don't sleep. I never get to sleep in. Like, I'll still be up at the ass of dawn because these guys have a schedule, and that means at least by 7 a.m., we got to go outside and pee. It's time. And I respect it. Honestly, I'd rather my dogs be on a schedule than anything. She's pretty precious. Oh, yeah, there's two. Where's my boy? Bubba. Oh, he's eating. What are you doing? You want to come say hi bye? And maybe we'll go on a walk because it's not terrible out. What are you up to, bud? I don't know. This is my oh. Yeah. You're the best around. Ain't nothing ever gonna get him down. I can't feel my legs. Just kidding. This is my big stupid boy trick, but he's just a baby void and he's just love and dumb. Big dumb love. Dogs are the best thing in the whole world. I highly advise petting one once in a while. They're really soft. They definitely feel different though. Like I remember before I got them, I was just reading about like poodle fur care or something like that, like hair care because they have to get them groomed and whatever. And it stated on like the AKC website or whatever that the darker the poodle fur, the more coarse their fur will be, and the lighter they are, the more fine it is. Totally true. Like she feels like rabbit fur. If you've ever touched a rabbit, like just that crazy level of soft. But her fur, I have to brush more often because it gets matted. His never ever gets matted or knotted, but it's not as soft. It's more like my hair. It's like thick, beefy. Might have to go out and we stick to the schedule, right? It doesn't like I try to think of it as I can't tell my dog it's the weekend and we get to sleep in. They just wake up and have to pee, and mom ignores them for an hour. And I could not stand it if I had to pee really bad and someone wouldn't let me go to the place I need to pee. That seems cruel, right? Mm. You're just super excited, huh? Yeah. He's just an excited boy. I have a solid 25% chance of being able to sleep in. Even if I could, I've never been able to. I still wake up. It's weird. I don't think my body wants to be asleep. I've never been able to sleep in. All my brothers and sisters could though. Animals really are the best. Animals that, you know, are mine are the best. No, animals are the best. All of them, right? Okay. You're just being fucking adorable because you want to go outside. I have two whippets. Oh my god, yes, and they're my favorites. The black and the white one. Oh, I love dogs. I love all of them, but whippets and greyhounds and all of the in between. My dogs actually in the dead of summer, the way I get them groomed, we've never really gotten like a poodle cut on them. We just get like a general all over same length cut. But in the summer when it's really hot, we'll get their hair shaved down, like get the poof off their head. They look just like a whippet or a greyhound. Like they have the exact same head, face, and long fucking skinny nose. They have no brain. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like their skull disappears if you shave all their hair down, and I just live for that look. I love the pointy nose, no brain. I live for it. It is just so fucking cute. And they have those big eyes that are like, at the top of where there is the no brain. I just love it so much. A couple of my aunts did greyhound rescue for years, and so we saw them as kids all the time. And every time I get these guys shaved, I'm like, oh, you look so much like them. Just no brain. I don't know where it went. It's gone. But they're so cute. I don't have any kitties, honestly. We have I don't have any that I've like actively adopted or anything like that, other than there are two cats that occupy my yard and my driveway. And because I know there's field mice in my field, I put out cat food for them and water and stuff because it's hot in the summer. Um, this isn't a place where people would put their cats, like have indoor, outdoor cats in any way, shape, or form because we have like wolves, coyotes, etc., bobcats, everything. Like it's Colorado. So I'm assuming these two cats are just like tomcats that can survive anything. One of them literally has like chunks taken out of his ear and his face, and I think one of his eyes is blind, and he has half a tail, and he's just this enormous tabby, but he gives zero. I call him Willard. Gives zero fucks about anything. Lays in my driveway and would let me drive him over if I didn't fucking get out and scoot him out of the way. Like, not kill him, but like, if I drove carefully over him, he would have the confidence to lay there and just let me do that. Like, it's my job. And then there's another one that's just a pure black, like American looking short hair house cat, whatever, but another big old tomcat that wanders in my yard once in a while. And I put food and stuff out for him because, again, they wouldn't be someone's pet. People wouldn't do that here. They're going to get eaten. These are just survivors. I would love to have a little kitty. Like, honestly, my dream is to have a little Sphinx cat. The naked ones, they're perfect, but I'm afraid my dogs would not necessarily try to kill them or kill them actively, but maybe not know what to do with the cat and traumatize the cat. And I don't want to bring a life into my house that I already suspect would be a tough life. I know a cat would eventually be able to handle its own, but is it worth it? Like my dogs are hunters. They have that instinct. Anything that runs and is small and runs. That's it. Anything. Dog, cat, squirrel, bunny, fox. They fucking they point and they go into a different mode that is very instinctual, and I don't want to, like, it just, they've cornered our neighbor's cat in my yard, and I've had to rescue the cat just from them barking at it. Like, they never heard it, but what if, you know? I don't want to be the one that does that or puts a poor cat in the risk of that. So I might wait till they're like old and fat and don't care anymore, and then I'll get my little naked cat. Maybe. Maybe. Collaptimus, thank you so much for something to class, keeping the class alive. I'm giving A swings for that prime sub. I fucking appreciate you. Don't forget your prime subs. I used to not be able to. Then I took an SSRI for the brain, which it did not like. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can't have cats or anything small in our house either. I've had like labs. I've had a golden retriever. I've had a Bernese mountain dog. Like, we used to be we had a little mini farm growing up, so my parents would just adopt dogs. We always had like 4 or 5 dogs at a time that were like outdoor farmish dogs, but all different breeds across the board. And I'd never ever had a dog that's just a hunting dog, like bred into them hard. And poodles, whippets, greyhounds, etc. Like that is, I think with greyhounds, I don't know if it's true with whippets as well, but greyhounds are one of those dogs that if they get a scent, you can lose them. Like, they will follow that scent until they find it and not be able to make it home. Like, they just have this, like, yeah, it's like a hardwire. Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad pet owner. It's just they can't help it. They just do it. They just fly off. Yep, I think some hounds will do the same. Bloodhounds. Have. Thank you so much for summoning the class, keeping the class alive, and giving it 8 swings. I fucking appreciate you. Don't forget your prime subs. Bezos makes millions of dollars and does nothing for society. I appreciate you. Our cat established dominance over the dog as puppy. I know. If I would have known anything about having a hunting dog, I probably would have done that just to overexpose my dogs to something so they don't try to kill it. But I had no idea that if you don't take your hunting dog hunting, it's still there. Like, so much. It's wild. What the fuck? Spiffy, thank you for gifting a sub to the Mr. Sweet. Mr. Sweet, go forth and be consensual in all the ways. Enjoy your emotes. I appreciate you. Nothing in this world is sexier than pure sub or consent. Big Bills, thank you for that resub. Go forth and be consensual in all the ways and enjoy your emotes. I hope you're doing well. They just turned tail and bolt. They've slipped non-slip collars trying to get to things. Mine too. Martingale collar. Ha ha ha. Collars designed for the long, skinny, no-brain dogs. Ha 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 ha. They still, I used to have a word for him for the greyhounds, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, but it was like weasel worm, because they're literally a weasel with just like extended legs. They can literally, there's nothing they've built that can hold a tube of weasel, like a ferret. You know what I'm saying? Like a ferret worm, nothing holds them. They are fluid on the inside and so skinny. Like, my dogs, unfortunately, they listen to me, and I've never lost one because they are scared when mom gets scared. And if I say, what the fuck, stop, they sit. But, like, God forbid I didn't do that. Oh my God, on a hike or something? Jesus Christ. Pool noodle on legs. Literally, exactly. Yes. These guys, like, the only difference is the coat. I swear to God. They're so similar. Dogs following scents is why shock collars exist. I know for whatever reason they become slightly controversial, but if you're not a sadistic asshole, they're fine. I think people that have never had a dog that they need something like that don't understand. I used to get shit like that when I was a kid. Like kid. I was in 4-H, but I had my dog that I took to 4-H was like a 85-ish pound, massive, like not overweight, just massive yellow lab. And it was my dad's hunting dog. And his name was Tanner, but he was my dog. I loved that dog so hard. But my dad was like, that's my hunting dog. But whatever, that's the dog I took. But I was like a little 80-pound nothing child in like 3rd or 4th grade. So my parents got me one of those collars that has rubber coated tines. And so if your dog like suddenly sees a duck and tries to take off, it doesn't take your arm with it. Those tines come in and pinch their neck, but they were literally like coated in that dip rubber. It wasn't metal fucking stabs. It literally couldn't cause damage. Like, my dad actually put it on my arm, I remember, and like tugged on it and showed me because I was scared of it. But it was the only way I could control a dog that weighed more than myself. If something like that happened, like instinct kicks in. But I remember just like going on a walk with my dog, people would be like, oh my God, that's animal cruelty. I'm like, wouldn't it be worse if my dog got out of my arms and ran into traffic and got hit by a car? I'd much rather my dog not pull into the traffic. Get us both killed. I don't know. I might have 3rd grade. No, but by 5th grade, I definitely had some sort of I had maybe not a collar, but it was like a choker with an eyeball dangling off of it. I think I got it out of a gumball machine. Oh my god, poodle is a portmanteau of pool noodle. Holy shit. You're on to something. You guys are pool noodles, just like curly pool noodles. And the bigger they get, they look like a teddy bear of pool noodle. Like if you made a teddy bear pool noodle, but they're still like I literally said this the other day. I think I was like, I gotta get my dogs groomed to remind myself how tiny they are because they're starting to look really big. But it's just their curls. They're so floofy. You guys need to go outside. All right, let's find someone cool. Did I look? I was looking for someone. My brain and my voice are going. Tomorrow we start Bioshock 2. Usually we hang out for a couple hours, drink coffee and stuff. So obviously, like, please don't think you're gonna miss the beginning of the game if you're not here at 9 a.m. That's just for us freaks that don't sleep in. We hang. But sometime in the early-ish afternoon, I want to start it and I'm excited. Oh, it'll take me 3 minutes to find someone to raid and shit, don't worry. Is my Discord is working. I have a shit ton of DMs I'm still trying to get through. But it's working. Choke collars were still a thing. I think they called this like a choke collar, but I know what you're talking about. There were choke collars back in the day that were like metal and they could hurt. And they were for dogs. People would put them on pit bulls and stuff to look badass, but I think they're totally unnecessary. I mean, I put it on my arm and yanked as hard as possible. And if it didn't hurt me, I didn't think it could hurt my hairy dog, but maybe. I feel a little bit weirdly smart, but also, like, I went in this thinking, like, eels are really interesting. In general, I find them very interesting. That electric eel at the Baltimore Zoo or aquarium has always baffled me, and I always go visit it, and it's just huge and scary. But now knowing that they are 8 feet long and hunt in packs of hundreds, and they like slime hump their way up there, I just have a lot more to think about, I think. And they're not an eel. They're a catfish. We've been catfished. We've been catfished. Shut the fuck up. Okay. I found who we're rating. It won't be a surprise, but literally you love them. It's fine. You're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna go rest my voice because this shit is going and I'm so tired. Don't fuck around. Get vaccinated, get boosted, wear a mask, and wash your hands. COVID is real. Tomorrow morning we'll start the next game. Think about eels. Holy shit. What the fuck? I have so many questions. Happy 420 and cheers, motherfuckers. It's L. How did you guess? I haven't got to hang out with L since Vegas, so selfishly, here we go. I do so love them.